After enduring and preparing for a summer squall, fans are ready for preseason Minnesota Vikings football, and the Vikings hope to reign supreme over the Oakland Raiders this evening. It's the Vikings at 2-0 this preseason, taking on the 1-0 Oakland Raiders, and the maturation of Teddy Bridgewater continues from Minneapolis as we walk you up to the regular season and the opener against the San Francisco 49ers. Good evening, I'm Paul Allen with Pete Bursich, former Vikings Ben Lieber, and Greg Coleman joined from the field later. The maturation of Teddy Bridgewater, what do you look for tonight?
You want him to continue with the efficiency that he's had, be able to throw on the move like he has. Let's see him complete something to Mike Wallace other than a whip screen. Those two need to get some kind of a rhythm going here, and we haven't seen it yet this preseason.
The Vikings offensive line, the Minnesota Moving Company, down a couple of guys tonight. Center John Sullivan not playing, and this guy, T.J. Clemmings, replaces Phil Lodeholt, lost for the season.
I love T.J. Clemmings. I love his athleticism. Coming out of that game last week, he felt good. Watch some film, feel even better. He's a very athletic, doesn't have the same amount of lead in the pencil. Not as big, but is he athletic? And if his head is right, he's going to be a good one.
Vikings fans get excited for the return of Anthony Barr this evening, making his preseason debut.
I count on Anthony Barr to be not just a playmaker, but a difference maker this year, Paul. We haven't seen him on the field. Hopefully he's going to get healthy, but he has to be the leader and big play man on this defense.
The Vikings generated a fair amount of offense last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They look to improve again tonight against the silver and black, the Oakland Raiders. The call of the game's coming up next from Minneapolis.
Vikings preseason football is brought to you by Miller Lite, the official beer sponsor of the Minnesota Vikings. By the Minnesota State Fair. Don't miss the great Minnesota get-together, August 27th through Labor Day. By NFL Ticket Exchange. Buy and sell Vikings tickets at NFLTicketExchange.com. And by Verizon, the official wireless partner of the Minnesota Vikings.
Good evening. Welcome to Minneapolis. It's the Vikings and the Oakland Raiders in the third preseason game of the 2015 season. The Vikings are 2-0, and the Raiders, off an 18-3 victory over St. Louis, head to Minneapolis 1-0. We head down to the sidelines. Here's former Vikings linebacker Ben Lieber.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Tonight, I'm going to be looking for new Vikings wide receiver Mike Wallace, acquired from Miami in the offseason. He brings a ton of speed and dynamic pass catching ability, but we have yet to really see what he can do in this preseason. Only one catch so far in 2 games. So as his playbook expands, I hope to see an expanded role for Mike Wallace in this game. And for another new Viking, let's go to Greg Coleman.
And that new Viking is rookie linebacker Eric Kendricks out of UCLA. The Buckus Award winner given to the top collegiate linebacker in the country. And he's living up to all of those honors. Now, it's going to be extremely tough to keep him out of the starting lineup because he has a nose for the ball and he plays with power, passion, and purpose. Now, back upstairs to 2 guys that are pretty passionate themselves, Paul and Pete.
All righty, Sebastian Janikowski will be kicking off to the Cordero Patterson-led Minnesota Vikings. There's Teddy Bridgewater having a fantastic preseason. He and Norv Turner's offense will get first crack to score on this balmy Saturday evening in Minneapolis. Sebastian Janikowski kicking immortality in his 16th season from Florida State. He's a sidewinding left-footed kicker wearing the silver pants trimmed in black, white uniforms, black numbers. The Vikings are wearing their white pants trimmed in purple and gold with the purple jerseys and the white numbers. The Vikings take to Dallas next week for their 4th preseason game, and Sebastian Janikowski walks up to the kick, and boom, it's a line drive. Cordero Patterson's only kick return last week went 24 yards, and he will be nullified on the opening kick as it sails over his head. Here are the Ford keys to the game. Pete Bursich, take it away.
And Paul, like we talked about in the pregame, it's Anthony Barr is the big deal tonight. How is he going to look? He's the key of this defense. I think he's going to be the playmaker. Offensive line cohesion, you know, T.J. Clemmings on the right side. Let's see if that group with John Sullivan out, you're missing your center. And then Robert Blanton's golden opportunity. I think that, you know, with the injuries that have happened to Exum, he's got a shot.
Visit NorthlandFord.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. Teddy Bridgewater in the first play. Toss right to running back Jerick McKinnon. That play is strung out, and he is tackled by veteran Curtis Lofton in the backfield for a loss of 3. The Vikings are led by second-year quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, 12 of 14 in the preseason, no TDs, no picks. He has a yards per attempt number of 9.3, which is not not bad, and he has not been sacked. He'll be playing behind a makeshift offensive line that is missing center John Sullivan out with back spasms. Joe Berger's the starting center, and rookie TJ Clemmings. We'll talk about him extensively. He's at right tackle. Bridgewater goes out of the pistol on 2nd and 13. Handoff McKinnon looks to get free to the right side, hit at the 17, and he falls ahead to the 21-yard line for a gain of 4, where he's tackled by Dan Williams. We focused on rookie TJ Clemmings to kick off the broadcast. He starts at right tackle. How comfortable are you, Pete?
I feel great about it. I think, having the injury happen early, and I say early in the preseason, it's going to give Clemmings a few weeks to get a feel for playing with the starters, and it's going to give the front office an opportunity to see, do we need a veteran backup or a replacement? I think they're just going to sign themselves a veteran backup and let Clemmings take it all year.
It's 3rd and 9. Bridgewater's out of the shotgun. Couple of receivers left. Goes on a deep drop. Steps up. Rolls out to the right. Sidearms it to the right. Incomplete at the 45. Flag on the play. The pass was center of the field, intended for Jarius Wright between the hash marks. The flag came in front of the Raiders bench. Ed Hockley, the demonstrative and loquacious referee, is leading an 8-person staff this evening. Here's
illegal
Ed.
contact, defense, number 25. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot and an automatic first down.
DJ Hayden, a third-year corner from Houston. He plays in a secondary, Pete, with Charles Woodson in his 18th year from Michigan. Woodson's a safety, one of my favorite players in the NFL, Charles Woodson.
It's amazing for someone to be playing not only into their 30s, but close to being 40. I mean, he's a future Hall of Famer. I just wonder how a guy can do it like that. He's gifted. He's just a gifted athlete.
High formation on 1st and 10 behind Bridgewater. Play action, zips it right over the middle, and it's caught by Charles Johnson at the 40, and that should be close to a Vikings first down. DJ Hayden covering Charles Johnson, and Charles was stopped after a gain, actually of 14 yards, so that'll be an easy first down. Charles Johnson so far this preseason has been a little bit on the quiet side. Last year he had 2 touchdowns as the Vikings go hurry up on 1st and 10 from their own 40. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Bridgewater under center. And the tailback is Jerick McKinnon. Tight end to the right is Kyle Rudolph, who's had a good preseason. Teddy Bridgewater calls out the signals to the offense, and on 1st and 10 from the 40, facing the Raiders 4-3. Bridgewater steps up in the pocket, fires, incomplete. In Raiders territory at the 40, Kyle Rudolph was wide open. It was incomplete.
And Paul, the hard part of that is Teddy Bridgewater gets in the line of scrimmage. He sees that they're going to have an extra guy in the box. He wants to throw it, and then Kyle Rudolph finds that seam right between the 3 deep guys and just off the back. So is it Teddy being off a little bit? I think that ball was catchable, and Kyle Rudolph should have come up with that.
Arguably the best Raiders defensive player is 2nd-year guy Khalil Mack. He's a right defensive end opposite Matt Khalil. We'll talk about him momentarily. 2nd and 10. From the Vikings 40, just underway, empty backfield. Bridgewater 3-step drop. He hits right on a cross, right to left, hit and stopped at the 45-yard line after a gain of 5 yards. We mentioned Khalil Mack. He was a first-round pick in the 2014 draft. He wears number 52. 5th overall pick from Buffalo. He had 16 tackles for loss last year, which was 10th in the NFL according to PressBox stats, and he finished 3rd in Defensive Rookie of the Year voting. He's opposite Matt Khalil now. He may line up opposite TJ Clemmings during the course of the game, which would be an outstanding battle for the rookie. 3rd and 5, empty backfield, 2 receivers left, 3 to the right. Bridgewater 3-step drop. He whips it out to the left, and it's caught for a Vikings first down in Raiders territory at the 49-yard line. 2 targets, 2 catches for Charles Johnson. It's a gain of 5.
Now, we talk about a matchup, Matt Khalil, and going against Mack here. He's just a powerful speed rusher. I think Khalil struggled him a little bit earlier on a spin move. Great job on the outside with these wide receivers. Charles Johnson one-on-one, just doing a nice comeback. And Teddy has been, Paul, continues to be right on time.
These 2 catches in this game, the first 2 of this preseason for Charles Johnson. First down, 1st and 10 from the 50. The Vikings scrimmage from the logo I formation. And the handoff goes to the tailback. It's Jerick McKinnon to the right side. He's following the blocking of Joe Berger and Rhett Ellison, and he falls ahead for a gain of 4, making it 2nd and 6.
Well, we mentioned offensive line cohesion earlier. In what we've seen so far tonight, the first running play was a running play for lost yardage. So that's never good. That's going to get looked at. We had 2 guys pulling. Joe Berger was one of them that pulled down front. No one blocked the defender. That was a mistake. We saw a play pass mistake on the blocking. But other than that, the offensive line is looking good, and Berger has to get in there and direct traffic, and he's, I think, so far doing a pretty good job.
2nd and 6, Johnson wide left, actually with 3 catches this preseason as Bridgewater goes back to pass, zips it left, incomplete. Through the hands of Mike Wallace at the Raiders 43. Mike taps his chest, looking at the quarterback, undoubtedly saying, my bad, 3rd and 6.
Well, I think offensively, the main concern, and the only concern that you have, or we talked about coming in, is just Wallace in his timing in with Teddy Bridgewater. And right here, this is just a perfect throw. Wallace is running a shallow crossing route, and Teddy hits him right between the hands. And for him to not come up with it, that's a big drop. I mean, there's just nothing in the way of a rhythm I see between the two of them.
Wallace has 1 preseason reception. The Vikings are 1 of 1 on 3rd down. Bridgewater out of the shotgun, 5-step drop, steps up, looks over the middle, sees nothing, swing left, incomplete to Jarius Wright at the 45 on 3rd and 6. Teddy was looking to get greedy down the field to Charles Johnson. Covered up nicely, didn't like it, swung it to right, no good. Here comes Jeff Locke to punt.
Well, not only did he have Charles Johnson down the field, he also had a Kyle Rudolph on a deep crossing route, which is a Norv Turner special against the 3-deep type of coverage. So went to his check down and didn't quite get it done. So
Tywan Jones returns punts for the Oakland Raiders. A converted corner lets Jeff Locke's punt bounce inside the 10, inside the 5, and it is downed at the 2-yard line by Marcus Sherrills. Excellent punt by Locke, tremendous coverage by Sherrills, and the Raiders are pinned with Derek Carr against their goal line. It's Minnesota Vikings football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Hey, tweet a pic from wherever you are watching the Vikings tonight from anywhere in the world. Make that hashtag Skol, and we will answer your question if you are so inclined. 0-0 with 10:38 to go in the first quarter. Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders from their own 2-yard line following an excellent punt by Jeff Locke and gunner Marcus Sherrills with terrific work to down it at the 2-yard line. Latavius Murray is the tailback. Carr's in his 2nd year from Fresno State. Offset eye right. Couple of tight ends, they're balanced. False start Raiders.
False start offense, number 66. Half the distance to the goal, it's 1st down.
Derek Carr was a 2nd-round pick last year, 36 overall. He started 16 games. His completion percentage was 58. He threw for 3,270 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. He has a receiver off to the right. That is Kembrell Tompkins, the former Patriot. Offset eye left. No score first quarter. Carr under center. Handoff Latavius Murray. He gets through the line of scrimmage and falls ahead for a short gain, a gain of maybe 2 or 3. Sharif Floyd is one of 2 Vikings, along with Linval Joseph, to get up, credited with tackles on Latavius Murray. Starting defense for the Vikings up front, left to right, Brian Robinson, Linval Joseph, Sharif Floyd, Everson Griffin. 4-3 base linebackers are Chad Greenway. Eric Kendricks gets the start in the middle. Anthony Barr makes his preseason debut. Terrence Newman and Xavier Rhodes are the corners. Robert Blanton and Harrison Smith the safeties. I formation behind Derek Carr on 2nd and 7. Carr straight drop, whips it out to the right, incomplete. He tried to hit fullback Marcel Reese, 6-year from Washington, right flat. It's incomplete, and now it's 3rd and 8.
And Paul, you pointed out Eric Kendricks in his start tonight. You get the play action here, and when you're backed up and they show heavy run, play action, Kendricks read it like a book. He was covering the tight end up and out on the outside corner. Just an amazing job of reading from a rookie. That's just outstanding.
Rookie Trey Waynes is in, 11th overall pick in the draft. He's an outside corner. Terrence Newman goes inside on the nickel. Carr out of the shotgun, back to pass, fires left, incomplete. And the Vikings defense forces the Raiders to go 3 and out.
And this, Paul, we talked a lot about the corner situation, but Xavier Rhodes continues to be an outstanding football player. The Vikings are going man-to-man underneath, and Xavier Rhodes, I mean, it wasn't that long ago, Paul, and he would struggle on those kind of routes in that kind of situation, but man, was he on top of that one. So Xavier still looking good.
The Raiders punter is Marquette King, deep in the end zone. Marcus Sherrills at his own 45. No score first quarter, preseason game 3 for the 2-0 Vikings. The snap to King is good. And the right-footed punt is not that great. Bounces at the 39, takes a left, bounces deeper into Raiders territory, and is downed at the 37-yard line. A 35-yard punt by Marquette King. Teddy Bridgewater and the Minnesota Vikings offense, the beneficiaries of terrific field position for their second possession this evening after the Raiders go 3 and out. No score from Minneapolis. This is Vikings football. It's Vikings football courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. No score. Marcus Sherrill's very valuable to this team, Pete.
He really is, and the field position that we're inheriting is because of him. The most dangerous spot in the league, gunner on punt. Look at him keeping his eye on the ball. The receiver could have knocked him out. He downs it on the 2-yard line. That the Raiders makes them punt. Bad punt. Sherrill's is there just in case the defense doesn't pick it up. If they touch it, then he can pick it up and run with it. He's just a smart player.
Bridgewater 3 of 6, 24 yards, 1st and 10. Back to pass, fires right, incomplete by Bridgewater, who now is 3 of 7. For more on right tackle TJ Clemmings, here's Ben Lieber.
Yeah, guys, I think you're going to see a lot more creativity like you saw in that first drive with TJ Clemmings. They split a tight end out, widened out the defensive end. They chipped on the very first pass to allow him some time to get his set. And the next couple passes, they widened out the tight end as well, just to widen out the defensive ends, give him a little bit more of an advantage. So you're going to see a lot more of that until he gets comfortable.
2nd and 10 from the 39, no score, 9.5 minutes to go first quarter. Bridgewater's under center. Handoff, Jerick McKinnon, bam, hit at the line of scrimmage, no gain. In fact, maybe a loss of 1. Dan Williams, a 6-year defensive tackle from Tennessee, hit Jerick McKinnon. And now to be 3rd and right around 11 for the Vikings as the Raiders bring in their nickel personnel. Red Ellison checks out for the Vikings, and Jarius Wright checks in. Charles Johnson heads out to the left, Mike Wallace and Jarius Wright to the right, along with tight end Kyle Rudolph. Bridgewater shotgun, 3 receiving options, right, 1 left. On 3rd down, no score. Snap from Berger. It's a screen left to McKinnon. Turns it up outside the numbers at the 40. Bam, he's hit at the 36. And Jerick McKinnon was hit hard and taken down post-haste by Ray Armstrong, a 3rd-year linebacker from the University of Miami. So now it's 4th and right around 6 from the 35-yard line. 4th and 6.
Looks like the Vikings are going to plan on going for it here, which may not be a bad idea if the wind is picking up like it had earlier and it's coming right through from Williams Arena. Then the Raiders are going to be looking at stiff wind right into the face.
So Vikings are 0 of 1 on 4th down this preseason. Bridgewater shotgun 4th and 6. Short drop, fires right, caught, effortless 1st down. Just outside the numbers to Charles Johnson. His 3rd reception tonight at the 25, and he falls ahead to the 24-yard line. That'll be a Minnesota Vikings 1st down.
Getting a chance to talk to George Stewart, he mentioned how Charles Johnson just runs his routes. He's a precision route runner right there in front of DJ Hayden. Just gets that turnaround, and again, we're seeing Teddy knowing when to get that ball to him. It's all about timing in that situation. So we're seeing that. We haven't seen that with Teddy and Mike Wallace, Paul, and that's the one area of concern that I have. 1st and 10 Vikings from the Raiders 24. 2nd Vikings offensive possession. Offset eye right. Bridgewater from under center. Protected. Okay. Plenty of time. Dump. Caught McKinnon. Short gain. Maybe to the 22-yard line. Tackled immediately by Curtis Lofton, the former Saint and Falcon, for a gain of 1. Teddy had about 4 seconds back there looking to make something happen, do some damage against the silver and black. You're absolutely right. And again, the communication with the offensive line. We have some new guys. Joe Berger's in there. TJ Clemmings is new. We've seen some communication issues already. But for the most part, Paul, Teddy's had plenty of time. It's just this 3-4 front of the Raiders. They can send linebackers at any rate and any time that they want.
2nd and 9, Bridgewater shotgun, McKinnon by his side. Out of the shotgun, they run. Jerick fakes left and darts right between the hash marks, and he's hit for a very short gain, a gain of 1 yard by Jerick McKinnon. With all the work we've seen from Jerick McKinnon, Sans Adrian Peterson this preseason, the assumption is that Jerick is his immediate backup. Then it goes into Asiata, as of now into Banyard, then Dominique Williams and DeJuan Harris. But what are you looking for from Jerick McKinnon from a maturation standpoint?
Now, you're looking at him to handle 1st and 2nd down, but 3rd down is the key, because I think this is when he's going to get his playing time and protection on 3rd down, a receiver out of the backfield.
2 receivers right and left. Bridgewater on 3rd down in Raiders territory. Pats the ball, fires over the middle. It's caught by Kyle Rudolph. and it's caught shy of a first down for a gain of 4 on linebacker Ray Armstrong. It'll be 4th and 3. The Vikings are 1 of 1 on 4th down conversions, but will opt to attempt a field goal here, and Blair Walsh is 2 of 3 this postseason on field goals. The long snapper is long-tenured Viking Cullen Leffler. He'll snap to Jeff Locke, left hash. Blair Walsh with a 35-yard try. Snap good, spot down. Walsh's right-footed kick is no good. Blair Walsh misses from 35 yards, meaning he's 2 of 4 this preseason. Snap was good, spot was good, kick was bad on the Vikings Entertainment Network. It's Vikings football in the first quarter from Minneapolis on the VEN, Vikings Entertainment Network. Next season, US Bank Stadium will be the new home of the Minnesota Vikings. There's a peek of what it'll look like. In fact, you can see it coming to fruition just to the west of where we are here on the campus of the University of Minnesota. The stadium update is presented by US Bank, the official bank of the Minnesota Vikings and proud sponsor of US Bank Stadium. No score. Blair Walsh missed a 35-yard field goal. Derek Carr's under center, 1st and 10 between the hash marks from his own 25. Handoff with Tavius Murray. Sees nothing in the middle, bounces it out to the left, and he's tackled by Chad Greenway just inside the numbers at the 30-yard line. Pete, Blair Walsh, 2 of 4 this preseason. He was 26 of 35 last year, which is not great. Any idea what's happening here?
No, like you said, the timing looked good. The spot, the snap, everything was good. So for whatever reason, whatever the problem he's having, he's going to have to take a look at it and figure it out.
Derek Carr, 0 of 2 on 2nd down, goes to Latavius Murray. Room to the right side, cuts back to the left at the 35 between the hash marks. Hit and taken down at the 40-yard line after a gain of 9. And he was taken down by Linval Joseph with his 2nd tackle of the game. Tonight's Getting Social is presented by the Minnesota State Fair, which opens on Thursday. Meteorologist Paul Allen, will it rain today? From Jeremy Wadby. Looking at the skies right now, if my predictions for the weather are as bad as they are with challenges during the preseason, I'm going to say yes, because then that means it will be no. Don't miss the Great Minnesota Get-Together Thursday through Labor Day. Derek Carr zips it over the middle, and it's caught by the fullback Marcel Reese in Vikings territory at the 47-yard line for a gain of 12. Those of you just joining the broadcast, there you see the northwestern skies. The teams were evacuated from the field at 5:10 with a significant lightning threat around the campus of the University of Minnesota. Kept off the field for the better part of an hour and 20 minutes. Started pregame warm-ups at 6:30. Game kicked off on time at 7:06. No score, 4:04 and counting to go in the first quarter. Derek Carr out of the shotgun, 2 receivers left, 1 right. The Vikings rush for Carr with a deep shot right side, and he has a man there. It's caught. It's Amari Cooper, the rookie from Alabama, with a deep shot. Caught it on Terrence Newman, the veteran from Kansas State. Amari Cooper, 4th overall pick in the 2015 draft. He wears 89, but he may soon be number 1 in the hearts of Raiders fans.
Now, Paul, he just ran right by Terrence Newman, and Terrence tried to turn and catch up, and Terrence, you can tell he's a little bit long in the tooth, so we may get a replay here.
Challenge.
On whether or not he had both feet in bounds.
Well, he may not have had both feet in bounds, and that actually may end up being the A topic.
Minnesota's challenging the ruling on the field that the pass was complete.
The current A topic is the way Amari Cooper ran by Terrence Newman.
Right.
And Terrence is the starting corner for the Vikings, and he's pretty good. This Amari Cooper, holy cow, what a great move he just put on Terrence Newman. Playing his 2nd game, Amari Cooper debuted last week, and he had 3 receptions. No score, challenge in play from Minneapolis. It's Vikings football. Welcome back to Minneapolis for Vikings football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. No score, Ed Hockley under the hood. 3:53 to go in the first quarter. A 40-yard Amari Cooper reception has come under question. He beat Terrence Newman far side of the field. Let's take a look. You think 2 feet are down or what?
Absolutely not, and that's what Hockley's going to tell us. The right foot was in bounds, but he was unable to keep the left foot in bounds, and I'm sure we're going to get a nice long story about how they're going to overturn it.
The ruling on the field stands as called.
Okay.
back foot, the back toe was still on the ground, appeared to be still on the ground when the ball came in. First down, Minnesota's charged with their first timeout.
He's saying when Amari Cooper caught it, his left foot grazed the ground. His right foot absolutely was in. So they're saying his left foot was down right when he caught it. Amari Cooper, 4th overall pick in the 2015 draft. He's Alabama's all-time leader in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns with 31. Last season, his junior season, his final season, that guy 89, 1,727 yards, 16 touchdowns. Amari Cooper near side. One receiver to the right, first and goal for the Raiders. No score from the 8. Play action, and it's an end around. And inside the 10 to the 5-yard line is Seth Roberts, a first-year receiver from West Alabama. And he'll sprint for 5 yards. It'll be second and goal. There's former Minnesota Vikings linebacker Jack Del Rio, new head coach for the Oakland Raiders. His offensive coordinator, his former offensive coordinator for the Vikings, Bill Musgrave. His offensive line coach, former Vikings head coach Mike Tice. Handoff Latavius Murray up the middle, walks into the end zone. Touchdown for Raiders. And Oakland takes a 6-0 lead. The Vikings are trailing in the preseason for the first time this preseason.
Well, Paul, the Raiders right now are just winning the battle up front. You go back to the Amari Cooper reception. That was scary how he blew by Terrence Newman, and then 2 plays later, after a reverse and then just a dive up the middle, the Raiders are able to score a touchdown. And that's the kind of football that Jack Del Rio wants to play. The Raiders have been flashy. They've been speed. They've been about a lot of different things, but I think Del Rio is going to bring that element of toughness. And you know it, with Mike Tice as the head coach, that front 5 of Oakland is going to be a physical bunch, and they are going to run the football this year.
As the offensive line coach. 2-point conversion for the Raiders from the 2. Handoff goes to Latavius Murray. Left side, flag comes in, hit and stopped at the 2-yard line. The try does not count for now, but there is a flag on the play. Latavius Murray in his 3rd year from Central Florida. Scored on a 3-yard touchdown up the middle.
Holding, offense, number 72.
Try dead.
Try fails.
Off a Blair Walsh field goal, the Oakland Raiders march 75 yards on 6 plays and take a 6-0 lead on the Vikings Entertainment Network. 6-0 Raiders first quarter. It's Vikings football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Ben Lieber has a game changer with him. It's Adrian Peterson.
That's right, guys. Game changer, Adrian Peterson, 2012 NFL MVP. Adrian, I want to start something Peter King had started months ago. A lot of high expectations for this team. How are you guys as veterans handling this expectation?
You know, we're just taking it one day at a time and knowing that we just need to do what we can do, control what we can control to improve as a team. And that's our main focus.
So last week, we saw Phil Lodeholt go down with a torn Achilles. A lot of shuffling going on the offensive line, a lot of question marks. In your mind, in your perspective, does your approach change at all with a young offensive line?
Not at all. You know, it's so unfortunate, you know, losing a guy like Phil, who one of our leaders on the offensive line and a starter. But, you know, guys going to have to step up. You know, they're in a position now to step out. And, you know, we just got to stay focused, you know, and control the things that you can control. That's what I always tell people. And when you do things that way and look at it in that matter, you'll do good and you're better off.
Last year, obviously, a lot of negativity surrounding your situation. Where did you find the inner strength and the strength around you on a day-to-day basis?
Man, just family. And see this right here? Just prayer, man. You know, I'm not perfect, but, you know, I make sure I pray. You know, keep my eye focused on moving forward and just improving. And, you know, just having a good core supporters around me help me get through the situation.
All right, now I don't know if you saw at the beginning of training camp, Jamal Charles, running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, said that he is the LeBron James of the NFL. Staying with that same sentiment, what player are you, who are you, if he's the LeBron James of the NFL?
I'm the LeBron James, you know. I can't knock, you know, Jamal. He's a good friend of mine. And, you know, one thing I always tell people is, you know, if you don't think that you're the best, how will you ever become the best? You know, so I can't knock him, but I definitely have to say I'm no LeBron James.
All right, thanks, LeBron.
A lot to explain here momentarily. Handoff Jerick McKinnon on 2nd and 7, and he'll fall ahead for a gain of 4, making a 3rd and 3. Secondly, with respect to Adrian Peterson, the best running back in the game, I think the proper answer would have been, yeah, but I'm the Seth Curry. He's the one that just won the NBA championship. So Jamal can be LeBron James. I'm the kryptonite known as Seth Curry. Secondly, Sebastian Janikowski booted the ball out of bounds where the Vikings started on the 40. That has to do with Cordarrelle Patterson. It's an underrated facet of Cordarrelle Patterson. 3rd and 3 from the 47. Bridgewater shotgun. Takes the snap, pumps, rolls out to the left. Raiders territory, out of bounds at the 49. Last year, Cordarrelle Patterson was 6th in the NFL in kick returns. Already he's had one booted over his head, and Janikowski tried to get tricky and pop one up. It went out of bounds, so we started at the 40. That's the underrated part of Cordarrelle Patterson.
Well, no question about it. Janikowski tried to drive that thing into the corner of the end zone, Paul, and just either missed it or lost it. And that's a huge detriment to this defense when you have to go out there and stand on the 40-yard line. It's almost inexcusable, and I know for Janikowski, he's a little unpredictable, but with that big cannon of a leg he has, it just misfired.
1st and 10 from the Raiders 49, trailing 6-0, gain of 2 by Jerick McKinnon. Let's add to this conversation. It's Ben Lieber on the sidelines. Ben?
Hey, guys, to go back to the whole Steph Curry comment, Adrian actually said he thought about it. He goes, I would say Steph Curry, but, Steph doesn't play very good defense, and I'm an all-around player, so I got to go with LeBron myself.
And I called him Seth Curry, so it's non-basketball season. I'm already thinking about Steph's brother, but Steph was the kryptonite for LeBron James this year. Bridgewater under center, 2nd and 7, trailing by 6. Rolls out to the right, dump right, caught man wide open at the 45. And turning it up in Raiders territory, Rhett Ellison inside the 40, outside the numbers. And he is down at the 34-yard line, maybe the 33, and so is a member of the Oakland Raiders. Some Adrian Peterson highlights. That's from his rookie year at Soldier Field. A day he had well over 300 total yards and 3 touchdowns. Here is his record-setting day against the San Diego Chargers. Also in 2007, the head coach for the Chargers that day, Norv Turner. There's Antonio Cromartie trying to run down Adrian Peterson. Peter, will be great having him back.
It really will. And what we forget about that day is he only had, I think, 54 yards of rushing in that first half.
48.
And he single-handedly just wore that San Diego Charger defense out, and we saw him do the same thing against the Chicago Bears. And you go back and you watch that film and you see he just has a bit of a gallop there when he's running, and you hope that spark, that explosion is still there, and he could be the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Adding him to this offense could be a great thing.
Now a starting safety for the Oakland Raiders, Larry Asante, went down in a heap at the end of that pass to Ellison. Looked like it was going to be bad there for a minute, but fortunately for Asante, he gets up and walks off the field. We just saw Adrian Peterson chatting with Jerick McKinnon. What would a guy like Adrian be saying to a second-year guy, McKinnon, about the way he's running tonight?
Yeah, I think he was going to ask him about just the timing of everything, how the offensive line looks. He may give him a couple of pointers here and there, but I think, again, when you see the two of those two guys standing next to each other, you're seeing your first and second down back, and you're seeing Jerick McKinnon as the third down back. So as a unit, those two guys will be our number 1 and number 2.
6-0 Raiders deep in the first quarter. 1st and 10 Vikings from the Raiders 33. Bridgewater shotgun floats out to the right. He'll dump it all the way back to the left. Caught McKinnon 25. Turns it up outside the numbers to the 20. Spins it to the 15. And Jerick McKinnon is taken down at the 11-yard line. A 22-yard connection. Second-year guy to second-year guy. 1st and 10 Vikings.
First of all, protection is amazing. Teddy Bridgewater able to scramble out of the pocket to his throwing side, which means the offensive line is doing their job, and Jerick McKinnon able to leak out late. I tell you, Teddy Bridgewater looks outstanding, Paul. He's in command of this game. It's boding well for this franchise quarterback.
The Oakland Raiders went 6 plays, 75 yards, took about 2.5 minutes. Second time they had the ball, Latavius Murray ran in from 2 yards out to give the Raiders a 6-0 lead. But the Minnesota Vikings are threatening, and that's the end of the first quarter. Pete Bursich, Ben Lieber, Greg Coleman, Paul Allen from Minneapolis on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Welcome back to Minnesota Vikings football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. The Raiders lead the Vikings 6-0. That guy right there, Tom Johnson, having a terrific preseason. Defensive tackle for the Vikings is wired this evening. You'll hear some super sneaky Tom Johnson sound coming up soon. Teddy Bridgewater, 9 of 13, 79 yards, has it 1st and 10 from the Raiders 12. Puts Red Ellison in motion, handoff Jerick McKinnon running behind that side of the line. He's hit and stopped inside the numbers at the 10 for a gain of 2 yards. Former Super Bowl MVP Malcolm Smith on the stop.
Now, Paul, I think if you look at this offense, if there's another area that needs to be figured out is what exactly are we going to do with the fullback position. Zach Line is doing the best he can, but he is not a stereotypical fullback. He's more, I think, of a running back, kind of a poor man's Toby Gerhart, if you will. He's just not getting enough juice in front on that lead block, and that's something that the Vikings are going to have to figure out.
2nd and 8, trips left, 2 receivers right, empty backfield. Bridgewater fade right, back right of the end zone. Caught, touchdown, Vikings, Charles Johnson. It's Teddy Bridgewater's first preseason touchdown pass and the first by Charles Johnson, and the game is tied at 6. It's a 10-yard hit. Bridgewater to Johnson. My, oh my.
Yeah, Paul, you're not going to see a prettier fade route over the shoulder to Charles Johnson. I mean, that was just amazing. Teddy Bridgewater putting just enough touch on it. Charles Johnson coming down with it one-on-one. Ball placed only where Charles Johnson can get it. You're seeing, Johnson and Bridgewater, Paul, already today connecting for a lot of yards and now a touchdown. So Teddy's still sharp, and he's getting the touch. These are the passes that he wasn't completing last year. He's starting to get that touch about him.
33-yard extra point try. Blair Walsh from the right hash mark. The try is up, and it's no good. He missed it wide right. This no longer has become a talker. It's become a problem. He's 2 of 4 on field goals this preseason, and he just missed an extra point. The game's tied at 6 early in the second quarter on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Back in Minneapolis for Vikings football on the VEN, the Vikings Entertainment Network. Game tied at 6, wired for sound tonight. Defensive tackle, Tom Johnson.
Big break. I'm going, baby. Hey, ball out. I'm going, baby. Let's go, Jane. Let's go. Ice. Let's go, baby. DJ, go do your thing, baby.
Here is the kick after the missed extra point, and the returner's taken down at the 20-yard line. For exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, visit Vikings.com, your source for everything purple. A lot of great training camp, a lot of great interviews, a lot of great video and content at Vikings.com. Blair Walsh, Ben Lieber, a missed extra point and 2 for 4 on field goals this preseason. Your thoughts?
Well, obviously it's not good. I mean, anytime you get some new money and the guys are looking at you, you got to come out. I don't care if the conditions are what they are. You have to account for those things. That's what being a pro kicker is all about. So if it is the wind, then he has to account for that, and he's got to make up for it.
High formation behind Derek Carr. Game tied at 6, 14-10 to go in the first half. Trent Richardson, the man drafted a spot before Matt Khalil, tries to go up the middle, and he's hit after a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9. Vikings Trivia is presented by Mills Fleet Farm. There's the question. Jack Del Rio, one of 5 Vikings on the 95 Pro Bowl roster. Who can name the other 4? Who can name the other 4? 95. Did you play in 95?
Yeah.
Who are they?
Oh, yeah, Randall McDaniel. He was one of them.
All right, Randall. Let's hold on here. Do this play. 2nd and 9.
All right.
Derek Carr under center. Richardson flexes to his right. Carr short drop. Zips right. Ball hit at the line of scrimmage. A pass defensed at the line of scrimmage by Anthony Barr. Vikings trivia. Well, there's the answer. You had Randall McDaniel. You didn't even get a chance to answer it, man. Warren Moon, Chris Carter, John Randall. Vikings trivia is presented by Mills Fleet Farm. Mills Fleet Farm, we love it. Anthony Barr with a pass defensed. Anthony making his preseason debut this evening. And it's 3rd and 9. Derek Carr goes out of the shotgun. The Vikings cheat some guys to the line of scrimmage. Pass right, caught Tompkins, makes a man miss at the 20. Spins away from Terrence Newman at the 25. And he's taken down by Anthony Barr at the 28-yard line. A gain of 7 and no first down for the Oakland Raiders. Anthony Barr making his debut tonight, Pete.
He's the guy that you're depending on. He's the guy that you want to step up, making big plays. He makes an impact as a pass rusher. So far tonight, one pass batted down, but it's just great to see him back on the field. He was my biggest concern kind of early in this preseason with just what's going on with the knee and will he be healthy. But when that man is healthy, he's an impact player.
Marquette King, and his first punt was around 25 yards. The right-footed punt this time is returnable for Marcus Sherrills. Runs up to it, hit at the 27 and stopped at the 27 by Chimdi Chekwa, 4th year from Ohio State. Vikings ball, second quarter, game tied at 6. Minneapolis, Minnesota Vikings football. Hey, Minnesota Vikings football is courtesy of the VEN, the Vikings Entertainment Network. Game tied at 6, 12 and a half to go in the first half. Tonight's game stats are presented by Verizon. Teddy Bridgewater's evening is over. He finishes 10 of 14 for 89 yards, a touchdown to Charles Johnson and no picks. Bridgewater still yet to be sacked in the preseason through 3 games. Overall, Teddy through 3 preseason performances, 22 of 28. A touchdown and no picks. 1st and 10 Vikings led by Sean Hill. Hands off to Jerick McKinnon, and he'll be hit at the line of scrimmage, and actually Dan Williams will amass a tackle for loss. Hill is playing behind the first Vikings offensive line. Sean made his debut last week, went 8 of 9 for 104 yards, couple of TDs, one to Cordarrelle Patterson, the other to Adam Thielen. And he was sacked one time. He had a passer rating of 154.44. Cordarrelle Patterson is in the game. He's left. Adam Thielen to the right. And Hill hands it to McKinnon. He'll dance up the middle across the 30, just outside the left hash marks to the 35. And that's where he stopped after a burst of 8, making it 3rd and short. Pete Bursich, Sean Hill last week.
And this is as veteran of a move as you get. Just a little pump fake to hold the safety and gets a streaking Cordarrelle Patterson down the left sideline. So Sean is exactly that. He's a veteran. He knows what to do with the ball. In that case, turning his back on the defense, coming up from the play action, and then just hitting the receiver in stride. So Sean is exactly what you would like in a backup. He's a great team player. He's going to help Teddy out. Teddy's picked up where he's left off, Paul, no question about it, and I think Sean has something to do with that.
And he's in his 14th year from Maryland as he goes back to pass, fires right, caught Chase Ford in front of the Vikings bench, first down, out of bounds at the 41-yard line for a gain of 6. The Minnesota moving company mostly intact now. Matt Khalil still in at left tackle, Brandon Fusco at left guard, Zach Karen is the center, replacing Joe Berger, who started for John Sullivan, who did not play this evening after missing at least 1 day of practice due to back spasms. Mike Harris is the right guard. Rookie TJ Clemmings has played the entire first half at right tackle. 1st and 10, Hill out of the shotgun. 2 receivers left, and Cordarrelle Patterson out to the right. 6-6 second quarter. Hill short drop, looks right, passes right, incomplete. Looking for Cordarrelle Patterson, and Cordarrelle was covered by DJ Hayden, who was beaten for that touchdown by Charles Johnson. 2nd and 10.
And Paul, you mentioned Teddy's efficiency, and it continues being 10 for 14 tonight. Protection for him was really fantastic. We saw a couple situations where he was able to drift out of the pocket to his throwing side. He was able to throw back to a Jerick McKinnon checking out of the backfield late. Their offensive line, from a pass pro standpoint, has done an outstanding job tonight.
Ellison in motion to the left as Sean Hill from under center, toss right to Jerick McKinnon. Bam, hit at the 40-yard line, tackle for loss. That's a tackle for loss by Danico Autry in his 2nd year from Mississippi State. Teddy Bridgewater into this game had a yards per attempt number of 9.3. What do you think of that number? Pretty good?
I think it's very good. It's you combine that with the efficiency, and every time that creeps up, you have to look at 64.4%. Every time that creeps up, Paul, if you can keep that 9 or 10 yards per completion, that's moving the chains, and that's a first down.
Hill out of the shotgun, 3rd and 11 from his own 40. Back to pass, deep drop, looks left, dump, caught, flag on the play. Cordero Patterson stopped immediately at the 42-yard line. This is the player spotlight presented by Chevy. Make sure to stop by your select Heartland Chevy dealers. Chevrolet, find new roads. Call, then Teddy.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense, offense, number 79. The penalty is declined. Brings up 4th down.
With that player spotlight, you saw that Teddy Bridgewater had a completion percentage as a rookie that was 3rd best in the NFL. It was 64.5 last year, trailing RG3 in 2012 and Ben Roethlisberger in 2004 at 66.5. Teddy, from a completion percentage standpoint, fantastic last year. The yards per attempt from last year does need to get up a little closer to 9, and that's what they believe Mike Wallace will help with when the regular season begins.
Now we're hoping that we'll be able to see some of that at least in the preseason.
Here's Jeff Locke's punt. He's 2 for 2. This is a beauty. Trendon Holiday lets it bounce at the 16, and it is touchdown by Mike Motti at about the 16-yard line. Jeff Locke has 8 punts inside the 20 this preseason. That's awesome. Game tied at 6, second quarter from Minneapolis. It's Vikings football. Hey, it's Minnesota Vikings football from Minneapolis on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Game tied at 6, 9:43 to go in the first half. Now the Sanford Health Report. Phil Lodeholt lost for the season last week, Achilles. Shamar Stephen missing his 2nd consecutive preseason game. Should play in the season opener at Levi. And tight end Michael Pruitt was rolled up on from behind on a running play in the Buccaneers play. He's out this evening. Tonight's health report presented by Sanford Health. Choose the experts. Choose Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Derek Carr back to pass, and he swings it out to the right, and it's caught for a big gain. It is a big gain for the Oakland Raiders. On the reception is Michael Rivera. Make that Michael Rivera, 3rd-year tight end from Tennessee, and that's a gain of 19 yards. Amari Cooper, the 4th overall pick in the 2015 draft, has 1 reception tonight, but it was a good one. It set up Oakland's only touchdown of the game. It was a 40-yard pop on Terrence Newman. As Derek Carr, 2nd year from Fresno State, is under center, and he flinched again for a false start. This is the 2nd time
false
Derek Carr
offense,
has done this.
Number 61.
It was the
5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Yeah, it was the center Rodney Hudson, the highly paid center who used to be with the Kansas City Chiefs. This is the 2nd time something in the middle is taking place where they're getting a little flinchy.
Earlier when they were backed up, you'd expect them to go on a hard count. That's when you want to do that. But this communication between center and quarterback.
Trent Richardson, the 3rd overall pick in the 2012 draft, gets the call right side on 1st and 15. And after a gain of 3 yards, he's taken down by Gerald Hodges, 3rd year from Penn State. Trent Richardson was the player the Cleveland Browns selected 3rd overall in 2012 after Vikings general manager Rick Spielman made a swap from 3 to get to 4. And then we took Matt Khalil. Then at the end of the first round took Harrison Smith. Derek Carr's 4 of 7 for 78 yards. He's out of the shotgun, 2nd and 12 from his own 33, game tied at 6. Marcel Reese, the tight end, off to the left, gets the call out of the shotgun, and he's hit and stopped at the 35-yard line after a gain of 2. Hey, kick off the 2015 season with the TCO Vikings 5K run, August 29th at Winter Park. Sign up at Vikings.com. Trent Richardson started with the Cleveland Browns. Was traded early in a season to the Indianapolis Colts. Now he ends up with the Oakland Raiders. He was a stud at Alabama. I wonder what's happened to Trent Richardson.
Yeah, I think he needs to find a system that he fits in. And again, I think this Raider offense, to help Carr out, is going to try to run the football more.
Carr, 3rd down, shotgun, pumps, protected nicely, fires right incomplete at the 34-yard line. Seth Roberts, the intended receiver, and he had a step on Trey Waynes, but the ball was overthrown slightly by Derek Carr, And Marquette King will punt.
Well, what you're not seeing...
He got by Trey Waynes.
He did the out and then did the up. It was kind of a deep out and up. So that was a long developing play that Carr needed protection for. And yes, he did get some distance on Trey Waynes, but Paul, Trey Waynes has that makeup speed that Newman didn't show earlier.
Bam, big punt by Marquette King, well inside the 10-yard line. Bounces into the end zone for a touchback. High on the style points, low on the actual effect of it. 65-yarder, but it's a touchback. Tied at 6 midway through the second quarter on the Vikings Entertainment Network. It's Minnesota Vikings football on the VEN, the Vikings Entertainment Network. Let's hear some more Tom Johnson.
You just spent from going vertical. Yeah, you went off, spent from going vertical. If you taking him inside, he's coming from this position to panic to try to get you. Instead of being like square and you take the inside move, he just sit like this. Once you take the inside move, he's going to panic and have to turn his shoulder. Once he turn his shoulder, then spin back out.
I'm going to go in full power.
Yeah, just go.
Tom Johnson and Sharif Floyd chatting on the sidelines. That's very good. Sean Hill, 2 of 3 for 7 yards. Hands off Matt Asiata. Left side, stiff arms a Raider hard at the 28. Walks out of bounds at the 23. The recipient of the stiff arm, T.J. Carey, second-year cornerback from Ohio. Matt didn't even say sorry.
No, he didn't. He had some room on the outside, and that's what we saw out of Asiata last year. He's a tough kid, Paul. He's hung in there. Had a lot of carries, not a lot of huge explosive plays, but he took a beating and kept on running that football.
Asiata the single set. Cordero Patterson in motion to the left of Sean Hill. 1st and 10, game tied at 6. 2 receivers left. Handoff Asiata. Stutter steps to the line. Spurts to the right inside the numbers. Hit at the 35 and taken down after a gain of 2 yards. Jerick McKinnon's evening has come to a conclusion. 12 carries for 25 yards. Teddy Bridgewater this evening was 10 of 14 for 89 yards. McKinnon caught 3 passes for 27 yards. Charles Johnson 4 catches, 40 yards and a touchdown. And we are having a weather delay here at TCF Bank Stadium. Play has been suspended, and those here at the stadium are requesting fans evacuate to the appropriate facilities. We just saw a nasty...
The players will also be leaving the field. The game is suspended temporarily.
We just saw a nasty streak of nasty flash of lightning in the northwestern skies. And it looks like a pretty significant patch of rain is about set to pass over the Twin Cities. And that rain, for them to delay this game for at least 45 minutes, that indicates the winds are high, there could be hail, could be some significant lightning in the area, and the game is temporarily suspended with 6:45 to go in the first half, and the game is tied at 6.
And this is going to be difficult for the players, Paul. You're late into the second quarter. A lot of the starters were still in there. Some of the guys that were playing maybe just special teams, the second teamers, if you will, they need to get themselves get in there and play regular snaps of offense and defense. And now all of a sudden, boom, you got to walk into the locker room. So for the coaches, it's almost like an extra halftime.
Hey, welcome back to Fox 9. Pete Bursich, Paul Allen, Ben Lieber, Greg Coleman on the sidelines. We will have Vikings and Oakland Raiders football for you very shortly as the teams are about set to head to the sidelines. The second quarter continues momentarily on Fox 9. All righty, welcome back to Minnesota Vikings football, courtesy of the VEN, the Vikings Entertainment Network. We are back at the campus of the University of Minnesota. Game tied at 6:45 to go in the first half. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Greg Swedberg and everybody else watching, there's a ton of excitement for this 2015 Vikings team, as well as for the future home of the Vikings. It's called U.S. Bank Stadium. Great lower level seats remain for today and tomorrow. Visit Vikings.com/tickets right now. We thank everybody with Fox 9 for assisting us during the right around 1 hour delay with the Beyond the Gridiron presentation. Those of you listening at FM 100.3 The Fan and also on the Vikings Radio Network, we thank Vikings General Manager Rick Spielman. for joining us for nearly 30 minutes to discuss Vikings football on Fox 9. Here you see a time lapse of what we saw, which included lightning en masse, and then rain en masse. And for the last 15-20 minutes, it's cleared up pretty nicely. And it's 2nd and 8 from the 35-yard line for the Minnesota Vikings in a game tied at 6. This drive started at the 20-yard line. Matt Asiata ran for 13 yards and a first down. Then Asiata went for 2 yards. It's currently 2nd and 8 from the Vikings 35-yard line. Matt Asiata is still in the game as the tailback. Sean Hill, 14th year from Maryland. In common thread-like fashion, he may start and finish his career with the Minnesota Vikings. Started it in 2002 as an undrafted rookie from Maryland, and now via free agency was picked up to be the backup for Teddy Bridgewater. Had a couple of touchdowns last week, and he's still in at quarterback now. Pete Bursich, Ben Lieber on the sidelines, Paul Allen, welcome back to the simulcast. In a game tied at 6.
We just can't get this thing started now, can we?
What happened?
I don't know. This is the second or third time they've
blown
blown
the clock to 6:45. Seems we are not ready, but now we are.
Like 8 seconds is going to matter.
6:45 on the clock.
Ed Hockley hasn't cracked the mic for 90 minutes.
He needs to warm up too, I guess, huh?
Backups on the offensive line for the Minnesota Vikings will set them momentarily. Pistol formation, tailback Asiata. Hill fires, caught, nope, dropped. Chase Ford, flag comes in late.
Another one.
15-yard penalty coming up on the Raiders. Horace Miller, first full year from UTEP, attempted to decapitate one of our tight ends. And for that infraction, we believe it'll cost the Oakland Raiders 15 yards. Chase Ford looked like he was going to have that thing for a hit of about 16, 17 yards. See what Mr. Hockley has to say.
And if you're Chase Ford, you've been sitting around for 55
There were fouls
minutes.
by both teams on the play.
That's
holding,
great.
offense, number 45, and a personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense. Defenseless player. The penalty's offset. Repeat, second down.
Hockley needed help.
Wonder what he was doing the last 50 minutes.
Personal foul.
Another stuff and redo the down. But then you get a chance to chase Ford. I think it was. Now it's from ducking the crown and putting the crown of the helmet down. So Horace Miller gets the penalty and Chase Ford gets rewarded for after 50-some minutes to get a helmet right in the chin. So, but Chase Ford is one of the tougher guys. This group of tight ends, Paul. There's going to be some decisions to be made. I think the three that are healthy right now will probably end up being the group again. So Michael Pruitt missing out with the injury.
2nd and 8. David Yankees making his preseason debut. He's at right tackle. Sean Hill out of the shotgun. Fade to the right side. Nobody's there, and it's intercepted. Mix-up in communication. Cordero Patterson went left. Sean threw right. And Jonathan Dowling, a second-year safety from Western Kentucky, picked off Sean Hill. There's some consternation here, Peter. Patterson went left. Hill threw it right.
If you look at Sean Hill and how long he's been around, you would have to err on the side of Sean Hill being right. And this is the kind of thing that concerns about you with Cordero Patterson, Paul, is just, having some time off. Here's a big distraction, and to come back and to make a mental error that may have turned into an interception. Again, we're assuming this, but you got to be sharp, man. No matter what happens, this is the NFL.
Christian Ponder is in at quarterback for the Oakland Raiders. Tosses to the tailback, Tywan Jones, and he rolls ahead to the right for a gain of 2 yards. There's Christian. In his 5th year from Florida State University, spent 4 with the Vikings, 38 touchdowns, 36 picks. He ran for 7 touchdowns. He was a first-round pick in the 2011 draft, went 12th overall. His final start for the Minnesota Vikings took place October 2nd of last year at Green Bay. He went 22 of 44, 0 TDs, and a couple of picks, but he did rush for a touchdown. Christian Ponder now wears number 9 out of the shotgun, hands it to Tywan Jones, who gets loose a little bit to the right side across the 45, and he's hit and stopped at the 50-yard line for a gain of 10. And an Oakland Raiders first down, Andrew Sendejo on the tackle. Now, for the Vikings, up front, Justin Tratto, along with Scott Crichton making his preseason debut, left defensive end. Chibo Anunoby and Tom Johnson are the defensive tackles. The 3 linebackers, rookies Edmund Robinson and Eric Kendricks, with second-year guy Brandon Watts. Trey Waynes and Jabari Price are the corners. And Edmund Robinson smacks Tywan Jones in the backfield. Edmund Robinson, seventh year from Newberry. He hit Trent Richardson. And that'll be a tackle for loss for Edmund Robinson. The safeties are Sean Prater and Andrew Sendejo. Christian Ponder at quarterback for the Oakland Raiders. Christian Ponder, Pete.
For Christian, a little smattering of booze when he came on the field, but it's not his fault. He was drafted where he was, and Paul, the experiment just never worked out. And the bad part is we lost a few years there of Adrian Peterson in his peak to develop a franchise-style quarterback, but I think we have one now.
Out of the shotgun, handoff Trent Richardson, comes near side across the 45-50 into Vikings territory. Tom Johnson is mic'd up this evening, captures Richardson after a gain of 7 yards.
Now, Paul, one of the things I think, again, talking about the rookies and in the preseason, that Daniil Hunter is a guy that's hasn't made his way up to that number 2, that second team, and guys like Johnson and Trotteau, those guys are out there working hard and doing a good job. So we'll see how Crichton does on his return.
3rd and 8, Ponder shotgun puts Trent Richardson in motion to the left. Christian's passing. Zimmer blitzes. Christian dump over the middle, caught 40. First down, 35-30, 25 near side 20, and inside the 15-yard line. It's an explosive play for the Oakland Raiders. And on the reception and run, Seth Roberts, first year West Alabama. 39-yard gain in a game tied at 6.
Well, Paul, it's the same thing. If you're going to blitz, you got to get there because you're taking so many people out of coverage. And when it's man-to-man, you get the shallow crossing routes. It's hard to stay with them. So when you blitz, you got to get there. You can't put that much stress on the back end, on the DB. So it's kind of hard to put it on them. We got to get credit to the Raiders for great protection up front, but that blitz needs to come home.
Ponder shotgun, Richardson to his left, 2 receivers left, 1 right. Christian on a designed run out of the read option, turns the corner. Sendejo misses a tackle at the 7, and Christian is blasted by Captain Munnerlyn at the 5-yard line for a gain of 5 yards. Captain Munnerlyn running with the 2s and 3s right now, Peter.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that's been around for a long time, and you would think that they could get someone else in. But for Ponder, Paul, I think the Raiders know kind of what we know, is that Christian gets some momentum when he does good things with his legs early in the game. And they're trying to get him an opportunity to run one to the sideline. But I'll tell you what, for an old man, he could still run pretty good.
2nd and 5 at the 5. Ponder shotgun, Richardson to his right. Play action, swings it out right to Holmes. Tight end catches it at the 10, and the captain finishes him off at the 9-yard line for a loss of 4. So now it'll be 3rd and goal from the 9. 2:45 and counting to go in the first half. Game's tied at 6. Only a 2-minute halftime, by the way. The full regular halftime not in play due to the 1-hour weather delay. The halftime break will be just 2 minutes. Couple of receivers right, 2 off to the left. Christian Ponder's out of the shotgun. Right defensive end, Justin Trotteau. Left defensive end, rookie Daniil Hunter. 3rd and goal. Christian takes the snap. It's low. 3-step drop. Floats out to the right. Christian looks to the end zone. Fires. It's caught. And it's no good. Out of bounds. Caught front right of the end zone, but caught out of bounds. Trey Waynes on the coverage. And he was covering Rod Streeter, a 4th-year wide receiver from Temple. Kembrell Tompkins also in the mix.
Nice job again. It's Captain Munnerlyn has been all over the place. The linebacker's good underneath coverage, and that's a tough place for an outside linebacker when you figure, is the quarterback going to run? Is he going to throw? And Trey Waynes right there to make the play. So nice job by the Viking defense. The Raiders run the ball effectively earlier this drive, Paul, and then he's abandoned it.
Field goal try is up, and it is good by Giorgio Tavecchio, a first-year kicker from Cal. It was Kembrell Tompkins, the former Patriot, who was the intended receiver front right of the end zone, covered up by Trey Waynes. So the Raiders lead 9-6, 2:07 to go in the first half. Just another reminder, there will be no halftime. The pause at what is supposed to be halftime will just be 2 minutes. Peek at the Viking schedule. September 14th, we are at Levi Stadium, home of the Super Bowl. against the San Francisco 49ers, home opener the following Sunday against the Detroit Lions. The bye is after the Broncos game, October 4th. Got the Chiefs in there, at Detroit, at Chicago. Jeff Fisher and the St. Louis Rams here with that nice defensive line. Second part of the schedule, we get these Raiders again at Oakland, November 15th. And we close up January 3rd, 2016 at Lambeau Field. The 2015 schedule is presented by Arby's. We have the meats. Marcus Sherrills deep for the Minnesota Vikings to retrieve the kick. Sebastian Janikowski had a couple of kickoffs. One went out of bounds where he started at the 40 for the Vikings. The other sailed over the head of Cordero Patterson. This is the second kicker they're carrying for now. Giorgio Tavecchio. All they do is sign left-footed kickers, by the way. Tavecchio.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Out of the end zone. If that had split the uprights, Blair Walsh would have been really.
Now, yeah, you're looking at a pretty hefty tailwind. So you would hope that he can get it out the back of the end zone. But here we go.
I joke about that Blair Walsh situation, but seriously, he's 2 of 4 on field goals this preseason, and he missed a 33-yard extra point.
Right, and the thing is that we're outside, and this is going to be one more year out here in the elements, and to miss like he has is. It's unacceptable. He stumbled a little bit in the preseason last year, Paul, I remember that, and came back, but not like he did his rookie year. So, with the kickers, again, it's what's between the ears, and you just hope the kid can keep his confidence up.
Thompson, Shepard, Kieran, Berger, and Yankee make up the offensive line. Hill, zip right, caught, chase forward, gain of 4. From the 20-yard line to the 24, 2nd and 6. Once again, the offensive line in now, rookie Tyrus Thompson, left tackle. Rookie Austin Shepard, left guard, 7th-round pick from Alabama. Zach Kieran, the second center used this evening. Joe Berger started. John Sullivan out with back spasms. Berger is the right guard. And David Yankee in his second year from Stanford. He is the right tackle. 2-minute warning. And at the 2-minute warning, let's kick it down to the sidelines. Here's Ben Lieber.
All right, thanks, guys. Second-year guy, outside linebacker Anthony Barr. Thanks for joining. All right, Vikings are in their third preseason game, but first for you, can you give us an evaluation of how it went?
For myself, personally, I could have done better. Made my couple mistakes that I wish I could have back, but that's what preseason's for, making those mistakes and building on those and correcting them. And so I look at those and be better for that.
So a knee injury kind of knocked you out for most of the OTAs, pretty much all of the offseason. Do you think it hurt your development at all going into your second year?
I would like to be out there, obviously, practicing and working with the guys and doing what I know I'm capable of doing. But, I think being out really led me to lock in on my assignments and the mental aspect of the game and watch a lot of film and stuff like that, where I wouldn't have, I have that much time when I'm playing, but when you're not playing, you want to put in that extra work. So I'm behind physically, but no, I feel mentally, I feel like I'm just as sharp as I would be if I was healthy.
So this will be the second year for this defense under Mike Zimmer's scheme. Where do you think we're going to see the biggest difference?
I think against the run, that was our point of emphasis all offseason, stopping the run, slowing it down, being gap sound, and just doing your job. And so I think guys sort of understand that more, and I think we'll be a better run defense team.
So this last draft, we drafted your fellow teammate at UCLA, Eric Kendricks. He comes and joins you. He gets to start tonight. What's it been like to have your friend, your former roommate, now join you with the Minnesota Vikings?
It's been awesome. It's been a pretty cool experience. Stuff like this doesn't really happen all the time. And for me to be on the same team as him is it's kind of a dream come true. And it was kind of funny because when I was a linebacker and just when I switched positions, he was telling me everything. Okay, you need to do this, have your eyes here. Now I'm kind of helping him. So the roles are reversed a little bit. So it's pretty cool.
So we get this long rain delay. What's a guy like Anthony Barr do during this hour-long rain delay?
It was a mess in the locker room. Guys just laying around, stretching, talking. It was obviously you wish we could just be out here and knock it out, but Mother Nature is not working with us today.
All right, man. Thanks for joining. Good luck.
Nice job, Ben. Anthony Barr out the first 2 preseason games. 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, and a game-winning TD at Tampa last year. Vikings go back on offense. Offensive star this evening, by the way, Charles Johnson. 4 catches, 40 yards, and a 10-yard TD. Sean Hill's at quarterback, back to pass, wheels it out to the left, incomplete flag. Cordero Patterson was the intended receiver, covered by Nico Thorpe, a third-year corner from Auburn. 1:56 to go in the first half. Raiders lead 9-6.
Holding defense, number 29. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot and an automatic first down.
There's a peek at Charles Johnson, receiver for the Minnesota Vikings in his third year from Grand Valley State. A 7th-round pick a few years ago by the Green Bay Packers. Suffered through some injury problems. Was on the Cleveland Browns practice squad early last year. Taken from that to the Vikings active roster. Ended up having 2 touchdowns last year. He could be a major factor in Norv Turner's offense this year. As Sean Hill goes out of the shotgun, steps up away from the pressure, dumped to Asiata between the hash marks, 35. Matt Asiata to the 40 for a gain of 10 and the Vikings first down. Pete, Charles Johnson.
Well, this is the rapport that we're talking about. A throw a little bit behind, but he goes back and adjusts and makes the play. Teddy Bridgewater stepping up, another timing route inside, and this is what we're talking about, Paul. The touch from Teddy over the shoulder, right in Johnson's hands. I mean, this kid is really developed, and if he continues to improve, he's not going to have that mohawk for people to know who he is.
Charles Johnson had 2 touchdowns last year. If you want to look at high-end projections for the Vikings, specifically offensively, here are a couple if you want to get to 10 or 11 wins this year. That guy, Teddy Bridgewater, from 14 passing touchdowns to 28. Okay. Charles Johnson from 2 receiving touchdowns to at least 6.
I would not be surprised if Johnson is 1 or 2 in touchdown receptions. I mean, Kyle Rudolph is always a threat down there in the red zone, but we've seen nothing of Wallace so far, so you may get a couple big ones out of him, but Charles Johnson, Paul, is the precision in his route running, those kinds of things, the attention to detail, and as a 7th-round pick and him having a hard time, or I guess a little bit of a longer road to get into the NFL, can really appreciate it. And he's a professional. He's learning the trade, not the tricks of the trade. And so he's just going to continue to get better. And you know, you talk about Spielman and the office person, the front office personnel, and you talk so much about the first pick or the 2nd-round pick. And hey, how about them bringing in someone like a Charles Johnson, finding him, bringing him in,
Tom Johnson via free agency,
and then just having these guys develop with the coaching staff that they have. I think that says more about the quality of the front office and the people that they're bringing in than anything else. I mean, you just can't make a mistake in the 1st and 2nd round, but when you can find a gem like this guy, holy cow.
We've been good with the Johnsons, Charlie and Tom. Empty backfield, Hill shotgun, zips over the middle on a slant, caught Cordero Patterson, Raiders territory at the 47, where he's tackled by Nico Thorpe for a gain of 7 yards. The Vikings used a timeout after a first down pass from Hill to Adam Thielen. The Vikings have 1 timeout remaining. Oakland has 3 with a minute to go in the first half. 9-6 Raiders. Hill shotgun again. Raiders rush 4. Sean Hill pats the ball, dump right, one-handed grab. Chase Ford after he bobbled it at the Raiders 44. And it's a gain of 2 yards. And it'll make it 2nd and right around 8, maybe a gain of 3. Chase Ford, part of that tight ends brigade, with Kyle Rudolph, Michael Pruitt, Red Ellison. Sean Hill, 7 of 10, 37 yards and a pick.
And that catch took courage, Paul, to turn yourself around and expose your ribs and double tap a ball and still bring it in, knowing that any second one of the DBs could come up and drill you right in the back. He's a tough kid.
Trips left, 1 receiver right. Sean Hill shotgun, 2nd and 8 from the 45. Sean, 5-step drop, zips right, incomplete. Waiting for Chase Ford at about the 30-yard line. Ball bounced at the 25, and now it's 3rd and 8. Best case scenario here, obviously, would be scoring a touchdown. That would be cool. But how about if we get stopped at like the 25, take a timeout, late in the first half. Here comes Blair Walsh. 42-yard field goal try. So at the end of the 2nd quarter, if he can nail it, maybe he'll gain some confidence.
Well, you'd hope so. And again, for him, it's going to be a matter of sitting down and trying to figure out what the problem is. Most of the time with kickers, it's mental or something very small fundamentally that they're doing wrong.
Hill, 3rd and 8. Vikings 4 of 8 on 3rd down. Hill passes, caught Asiata, first down at the Raiders 37-yard line. Caught it at the 38. A tough love yard gets the Vikings from 7 to 8 and to a first down.
You know, Paul, you look at Matt Asiata, and you're getting so much out of him. And if you talk to anybody that does the scouting, you know, you might look at a Division I AA player, a Division II player. And I remember back when I was coaching and we would do that. You throw that tape and you expect them to stand out. And these guys that started and played a lot last year, they're standing out against these twos, and they should.
The Minnesota Vikings radio network is among the largest in the NFL. Take Pete Bursich, Greg Coleman, Ben Lieber, and yours truly with you all season long. Find an affiliate near you at Vikings.com. The flagship is FM 100.3, KFA, and the sports leading juggernaut. You can hear part of the simulcast on that, and of course watch it via Fox 9. First and 10 from the 36. Hill play action, looking left, dumping left, caught Asiata, makes a man miss at the 30, darts to the 25-20. Asiata dives inside to the 18. 17-yard connection, Hill to Asiata, clock runs 25-24-23. First and 10 from the Raiders 19. Hill kills the clock.
Paul, you were off by a yard.
What do you mean?
You just painted the picture.
Yeah.
20-yard line. A 37-yard field goal attempt.
But now I don't want us to get stopped. Now I want, because Adam Thielen was my radio Continental Diamond Jewel of the Game prediction, and it's his 25th birthday. Now I want Adam Thielen to catch a touchdown, so we lead 12-9 pending PAT.
And rumor has it he just got engaged?
Yeah, and he got that ring. Where'd he get the ring? Continental Diamond in St. Louis Park, adjacent to the West End. ContinentalDiamond.com. Couple of receivers left, two right. Hill, shotgun, dump, incomplete. Immense pressure put on the 14-year veteran from Maryland.
Now the Raiders just sold out. They went all-out blitz, and we didn't have anything short underneath to take advantage of it. But Sean Hill, Paul, he's going with the tight ends and the running backs. He feels comfortable with them instead of really with Jarius Wright and Cordero Patterson. So Sean doing the smart thing, just getting rid of it, and then he gets tied up a little bit in David Yankee block. So hate to see an old man fall down like that.
Vikings 5 of 9 on third down. Sean Hill 9 of 5, 63 yards and a pick. 9-6 Raiders. Hill, 5-step drop, looks right, hit as he throws, fires right, caught. Thielen out of bounds at the 4-yard line with 11 seconds to go. Vikings have no timeouts. 15-yard connection. Let's isolate number 19 and have Pete analyze.
Just a nice out route, and the ball put right where it needs to be. So, you know, Thielen, another one of these guys that doesn't possess maybe the elite speed, but has to run the precise routes, and that's timing right there. That's, you know, you saw Sean Hill deliver that ball before Thielen was in his break, and he ended up right where it needed to be. So that's what you practice. That's the timing that you need in an NFL-style offense, and we're going to get the ball handed off here, I bet, to Asiata.
With no timeouts, it's highly unlikely.
That's what they're thinking.
Shotgun, Hill, short drop, fires, caught in the end zone, touchdown, Vikings!
And they're going to tack on another personal foul.
It's Chase Ford.
That's twice that Ford has been just drilled.
They're trying to turn Ford into a Pinto.
What did he do? I mean, he must have been talking smack during the 51-minute break or something, because they definitely...
What do they have against Canes?
I don't know. They put a target on his chest, that's for sure. But what a tough guy. You know, and Ford, Chase Ford, he and Red Ellison last year, I think, were another couple surprises on top of guys like Asiata that have come in and done a great job and been tough. And they're there. They're constantly there. And Ford...
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness defense, number 29. A hit against the defenseless player. The touchdown counts. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Randy and Ross. Look at this.
Just a nice throw. Chase Ford, timing, boom, boom. He knew it was coming.
Yep.
And still held on to the football. That's for Chase Ford. That's a great catch. I mean, he's, again, you look for certain guys when they're playing against the twos. If they're going to threaten to be a starter or be considered to be a starter, they better stand out and stand out quickly. And I think Chase Ford has done that. I think Asiata's done that in this series, in this drive. So Sean Hill continuing to be a good backup.
All right, PAT from 33 yards. Walsh 0 of 1 on extra points tonight. Snap, good, spot, down, extra point. Yes! And Blair can breathe.
That, you know, you for a kicker, Paul, it's you've got to be just a little goofy. You got to kind of be like a relief pitcher. You've got to be kind of like a goalie in hockey. You just deal with failure, because people, as much as they remember the big kicks and the big field goals and in those situations, they remember the misses. And you know, you really have to just keep fighting through it. And he did. He's got to be feeling better about it already. And let's just get it out of the thing. Let's get away from that and have the good rest of the preseason.
That touchdown to Chase Ford was Sean Hill's third touchdown pass of the preseason against one interception. The Minnesota Vikings go 13 plays, 80 yards. It took a minute 59 seconds. Hill to Ford from 4, and the Vikings lead 13-9.
Again, Paul, good to go back to that play. Good protection up front. So, you know, the offensive line, as much as we know it's lacking depth, they've done a pretty good job in pass protection tonight. The run game, I think, is it's still yet to be determined. Without Adrian Peterson in the backfield, folks, you really don't know. You don't really know what they're going to want to do with him and how they're going to want Adrian to run. And you know, looking at our fullback situation, you're going to see Adrian a lot like he did his rookie year, I think, and then single back sets.
Off the 15-yard penalty, boom, Walsh from the 50.
Oh, he'll make this one.
Yep. Splits the uprights.
Yep.
Ball out of the end zone. It's not a 60-yard field goal for Blair Walsh. It's a touchback. 8 seconds to go. Christian Ponder, quarterback for the Oakland Raiders. He came on last series after the 1-hour rain delay, and Christian was 2 of 3 for 36 yards. He ran one time for 4 yards. Yeah, the same Christian Ponder who played for the Minnesota Vikings from 2011 through 2014. He's the backup for Derek Carr, but he's actually in a battle with Matt McGloin for the backup spot behind Derek Carr as Christian takes a knee, and we will head to a 2-minute halftime. Once again, no elongated halftime. It is a 2-minute break due to the weather delay of nearly 1 hour. The Vikings have 2 touchdowns tonight, both via the pass. One from Teddy to Charles Johnson, the other from that guy, Sean Hill, to Chase Ford. Vikes lead by 4. Back shortly on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Pete Bursich, Paul Allen, campus of the University of Minnesota. Favorite teams winning 13-9. A minute 42 to go in this truncated halftime. And then we will see what's next for the Minnesota Vikings after Sean Hill. It's believed the quarterback will be Taylor Heineke from Old Dominion. Mike Kafka was the second quarterback used in the Hall of Fame game. Heineke was the third quarterback used last week. And Taylor Heineke provides a little bit of a tricky talker for the general manager, Rick Spielman. His assistant, George Payton, Scott Studwell, Ryan Munnins, and the rest of the group, because they need to determine whether they are keeping 2 or 3 quarterbacks on the 53-man roster.
Now, and when you do, you look at the guys that you have in Heineke, you hope that between the two, that one of them should be able to slip onto the practice squad. And if you can keep one of the two, be the emergency backup, I think that would be a great thing. And I mean, between Teddy Bridgewater and Sean Hill, I think you've got the quarterback position pretty well summed up. And if you've got to get to the third, if you're your third string quarterback, I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be some issues.
You just saw the game stats provided by Verizon, and I left out in that decision-making process, Director of College Scouting Jamal Stevenson.
Oh yeah.
There's Taylor Heineke, Dante Foster between Cordero Patterson, and next to them is Jordan Leslie. Mr. Farniok from South Dakota, a backup center on tonight, our starting center. John Sullivan didn't play due to back spasms. Halftime has come to a conclusion, and Blair Walsh booms the ball out of the end zone. Raiders ball, Vikings lead 13-9. But that quarterback situation is serious. I mean, you're going Hill, you're going Bridgewater into Hill, but if Heineke is the third quarterback on the 53, then that obviously pulls from another spot. So now, if you want to keep 7 linebackers, that may be 6. If you want to keep 5 safeties, that may be 4. What about the offensive line? You lose Phil Lodeholt. You lose Eden Prairie's Carter Bykowski to a pec injury. He's out for the year. He was having a dynamite preseason and most likely would have made the final 53. You know, so now maybe you stretch that offensive line number by 1.
Yeah, you're going to need one somewhere, especially on the practice squad, just as an arm for look teams and things like that. So I still think they're going to go with 2 on the roster.
Ponder hands it off to Trent Richardson. Tackle for loss by Brandon Watts, along with safety Anthony Harris, who also was in the mix. Anthony had 6 tackles in the victory over the Buccaneers last week. Anthony Harris, undrafted safety from Virginia. Potentially one the Vikings could be keeping on the 10-man practice squad. Trips left, 1 receiver right. Christian Ponder, former Viking, under center. Takes a handoff to Trent Richardson, sprints out to the left, throws across the body, caught first down at the 31-yard line by Bryce Butler, a third-year receiver from San Diego State, tackled by Andrew Sendejo. And that's a gain of 13. 13-9 Vikings, just underway, quarter 3.
No, that's that kind of that soft underbelly with the heavy play action, and that void needs to be filled by a linebacker. You see all those guys, Watson, everybody up front reading the play action. Well, one of them's got to turn and find that deep crosser. So you know, a little inexperience up there, and one of those guys, when as they mature, they should be able to search that route up.
Ponder shotgun, hands off to the tailback. Sean Prater brings him down at the 37-yard line, and it is Michael Dyer, a rookie running back undrafted from Louisville. Played with Teddy Bridgewater a couple of years ago. Gain of 5 for Dyer. 2nd and 4 from the 38. For the Vikings in the game to begin the second half, up front, Justin Tratto. Defensive tackles, Tom Johnson and Chibo Anubi. Scott Crichton, left defensive end. Gerald Hodges and Brandon Watts are in at linebacker. Trey Waynes, Sean Prater. And a handoff to Dyer, right side, grinds his way to a Raiders first down. Jabari Price is also in at cornerback. Anthony Harris and Andrew Sendejo in at safety. So this is an interesting scenario, like we pointed out last week against the Bucs, for Sean Prater. He's practicing as a safety. He's a converted corner, but when they go nickel, he's playing the cornerback spot inside. Now that, you know, I think that has a big chance to keep 27 Sean Prater on the team.
Now, it's his position flexibility, and that's one thing that's going to keep, I think, Marcus Sherrills around, too, is the fact that he can do so many different things for the team.
Yep, he's the best gunner on the team. Ponder back to pass, whips it out right, and it's caught. Trey Waynes missed a tackle. And Bryce Butler was able to stretch it a couple more yards for a gain of 8. You know, with Trey Waynes, he had those 3 penalties in the HOF game. Then Vincent Jackson got behind him last week, but Robert Blanton had a little bit to do with that explosive play. But with Trey, he missed at least 2 tackles in the Hall of Fame game, and he just missed one in open field there. You know, that's obviously something that needs to improve.
Yeah, that needs to improve. The coverage part of it is much more important. I mean, you're a football player, you need to tackle, but corners don't get paid to tackle. They get paid to cover, and he's kind of not doing either right now.
Second down, handoff. Dyer stretches it right. Prater and Sendejo wrestle him out of bounds in front of the Vikings bench, short of the first down, gain of about 2. Making it 3rd and short from the Vikings 46-yard line. Minnesota leads 13-9. Bridgewater with a TD pass to Charles Johnson. Sean Hill with a TD pass to Chase Ford. We have 1 missed extra point by Blair Walsh and 1 made. Blair also missed a field goal very early in the game from 35 yards. Raiders are 1 of 5 on 3rd down. This is 3rd and short in Vikings territory. Ponder under center. Hands it off to Dyer. Angles out to the left. Rambles for a first down to the Vikings 43. And he was tackled by Gerald Hodges. Gerald Hodges, along with Brandon Watts and Edmund Robinson, were in the game in the 4-3 base. Gain of 3. Now Anthony Harris runs into the game as Robinson departs, and the Vikings will play nickel, with Sean Prater, safety / corner, being the inside guy in the nickel just to the right of Trey Waynes. Ponder's out of the shotgun. 1st and 10 for the Oakland Raiders. Snap. Ponder whips it out left. Caught and stopped immediately is George Atkinson III, a first-year guy from Notre Dame. Jabari Price on the tackle, no gain. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, a nice adjustment by the Vikings. When offenses go empty, meaning there's no one around the quarterback, he's standing there alone. You have two choices as a defense. Either you sit back and play coverage, or you blitz them. You blitz more than they can block, and that's what the Vikings did. So the corners, the safeties, they all know that ball has to come out quickly. It did. Nice rally and tackle, and it's a no gain.
How about a Crichton sack? Ponder back to pass. Oh, Justin Tratto jumped the route, and he almost went 54 the good way. Justin Tratto, 94, with this vertical.
It's a heads-up play. He keeps his feet, number one, on the cut block, and that thing hit him right in the hands, Paul. But when you're a D lineman, those fingers are all mangled and beat and taped and broken and busted, and so they really don't get paid to catch. But that would have been a big play.
Ponder 5 of 7, 57 yards, 3rd and 10 from the Vikings 42. Raiders 2 of 6 on 3rd down conversions. 3rd defensive end spot for the Vikings. Starters are Robinson and Everson Griffin. Justin Tratto has had the best preseason of the backup defensive ends. Daniil Hunter has been nondescript.
He's the one guy that you wonder what's happened with him and what's going on, because he hasn't been on the field much at all, Paul. He played a little bit at the end of the last game, but he hasn't shown up yet tonight.
He's out there now, left defensive end.
There he goes.
He's a third round pick from LSU. He makes the team. Ponder back to pass, dump left, caught Tompkins, turns it up 40, hit by Jabari Price, and stopped at the 35-yard line. Andrew Sendejo and Brandon Watts in the mix. Gain of 7. And the Raiders are short of a first down, 4th and 3 from the Vikings 35. So they'll go for it here. And then you have Scott Crichton. Scott Crichton, a backup defensive end for Edwards/Zimmer's defense in his 2nd year from Oregon State. He was drafted last year. He played in 8 games. He only had 2 tackles. This is his first preseason game, and they want to see something going with him. The Vikings have 10 on the line of scrimmage, and the single high safety is Andrew Sendejo on 4th down. Ponder, 5-step drop, steps up, hit, and sacked! Christian Ponder was sacked. Justin Tratto and Tom Johnson brought down their former teammate, and the Raiders are stopped on 4th down. 9:09 to go in the 3rd quarter. Vikings ball and a 4-point lead. This is Minnesota Vikings football. Minnesota Vikings football is courtesy of the BEN, the Minnesota Vikings Entertainment Network. Got a rookie profile for you presented by Tria Orthopedic Center. For the athlete in all of us, there's Tria, and there's Eric Kendricks, rookie linebacker from UCLA, taken in the 2nd round with the 45th overall pick, 2004 Butkus Award winner, and the all-time leading tackler in UCLA football history, Eric Kendricks. Taylor Heineke's in, tried to pass left. Ball was swatted and nearly picked off by a defensive lineman, Shelby Harris, first-year defensive end from Illinois State.
Now here we go with these short passes. These defensive linemen getting their hands up. It's just more guys are coming than the Vikings can block. So for Heineke and these quarterbacks, you got to get rid of that ball quickly. And the offensive lineman, when that D lineman puts his hands up, you got to make him pay. You hit him in the gut, you cut him, you take his legs out, you do something to get those hands down.
2 tight ends to the right. They're forward and Bostic. I formation behind Heineke. Handoff Dominic Williams. Hit at the 35 and stopped. No gain, 3rd and 10. A couple of K-State guys are on the sidelines. Ben Lieber and Terrence Newman.
That's right. A K-Stater and a 2-time Pro Bowler. Terrence Newman joins me. We're going to start with this game. Amari Cooper, a reviewed catch. What did you see from your perspective?
He ran a nice little double move. We had a call where, I'm anticipating the ball coming out quick, and they blocked it up and ran a double move. And I thought that I was, close enough that I could try to shove him out before he got both feet down. And to me, it looked like it was incompletion, but the refs reviewed it and they made the call.
All right, 36 years old, 13th year in the league. Where do you find this competitive fire to get up every day and play at a high level?
You know what? I'm still chasing a ring. I want to win a Super Bowl. That's the ultimate high of this game, and I have yet to do that. So I'm still trying to get that, and I take pleasure as well in helping some of the young guys, get better. So these guys lean on me and ask me questions, and look for some knowledge. So it's good to be able to pass those types of traits and that knowledge on.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Glad to have you as a Viking. You're back in purple, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Terrence. Sadly, that's Taylor Heineke down. We'll update him when we return to the Vikings Entertainment Network. Welcome back to Vikings football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Pete Bursich, Paul Allen, and Taylor Heineke on a deep drop, and he got smashed.
Man, that's just getting the wind knocked out of you, catching a helmet right in the solar plexus. Right there. Boom!
And it was a turnover.
The Vikings, was a turnover.
The Vikings lost 3 fumbles last week. Handoff Michael Dyer, sprints left side across the 30. And Dyer's taken down at the 25 for a gain of 4, making it 2nd and 6. The Heineke lay on the field for about 90 seconds. Certified athletic trainer Eric Sugarman ran out to his assistance, and then Heineke bounced up. Looks like he's okay, no worse for the wear. 13-9 Vikings midway through the 3rd quarter. Christian Ponder, 6 of 8, 64 yards. Shotgun. Goes to Dwyer out of the shotgun, spins away from Gerald Hodges, and heads down the left hash marks to the 21-yard line for a gain of 3. And it'll be 3rd and 3 for the Oakland Raiders. 1-0 in the preseason. The Raiders beat the St. Louis Rams last week, 18-3. The Rams kicked a field goal 2.5 minutes into the game, didn't score the rest of the journey. Ponder in that game was 6 of 8. A TD to former Vikings practice squad guy Andre Holmes, and also an interception at the end of the first half. 3rd and 3, trips right, receiver left. Ponder on a slant left, caught. First down on Jabari Price. The first down was hauled in by Bryce Butler for a gain of 6 and a first down for the road team.
Now we haven't seen Ponder really take any throws down the field more than a couple yards, Paul. I think 5 yards. That slant might be one of the longest throws that he's attempted to make, and they're keeping him in there. They've spread this offense out with him in there. Hopefully, I think maybe to let him use some of his physical ability, but the Vikings have chosen to blitz whenever this is happening.
1st and 10, flags, false start, Raiders.
False start offense, number 70, 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Their offensive coordinator is former Vikings offensive coordinator Bill Musgrave. Bill calls the games from the field. And if you say that Ponder is just basically looking five yards down the field, then maybe the offense is called 5 yards in a cloud of muss. But with this offense, Bill was the quarterback's coach in Philadelphia last year, working with Chip Kelly. This offense has a little bit of a Chip Kelly feel to it. Some read option, running out of the shotgun like they did there with Dyer. Spread offense. Like I said, ton of shotgun, gain of 2 there. I think Mr. Musgrave brought some Chip Kelly plays with him to the East Bay.
And the Chip Kelly offense it's in and out of the huddle, it's rapid fire. So when you're a position coach, your coordinator, you become a position coach, you work under a different regime, you always have a tendency to borrow a little bit of what you like. There's no pride of authorship and a good idea.
Yep.
And if you're working with another group, another team, and they do a couple things you want to borrow, take on, go get them.
2nd and 13, Ponder under center, handoff, no play action, rolls out to the right, nearly intercepted Trey Waynes. Trey Waynes dove in front of the intended receiver at the 10-yard line and knocked it away. There's that closing speed they told us about when he came here from Michigan State.
Now, nice job by Trey Waynes, and again, this is later in the game. You would hope and expect that a guy like Trey, with all his athletic ability, would start to shine, and he has. I mean, you watch him at this stage of the game, Paul. With this group, he does look a step faster than the other guys that are around him. That's great. He should, but you're right. You saw the explosiveness in him.
Under a summer squall, Ponder out of the shotgun, back to pass, hoist the white flag to the left because he was under duress. It's incomplete. Justin Tretto, Scott Crichton. Vikings had 3 defensive ends in on that play. Crichton, Tretto, and rookie Daniil Hunter. Now for Scott Crichton, the second-year guy from Oregon State, the good thing about him, he has position flexibility. You can slide him inside, play a little defensive tackle. That's probably going to help him. Field goal try by Giorgio Tavecchio, his first full year from Cal. It is a 37-yard try, left hash. Snap good, spot down, left-footed to Vecchio kick. Hooks through the uprights, and it's Minnesota 13, Oakland 12, third quarter. From Minneapolis, it's Minnesota Vikings football. It's Minnesota Vikings football, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. Pick up your official Vikings yearbook today at vikingsyearbook.com. Welcome to those of you back watching us via Fox 9, your new home for Minnesota Vikings preseason football. We also have some ancillary regular season programming we think you'll enjoy. We have a feature-type show, a magazine-type show, co-hosted by Ben Lieber called Vikings Connected. That's a weekly show. And Vikings Game Plan, our pregame show that we film at the Vikings Entertainment Network during the course of the practice week, featuring head coach Mike Zimmer and more. Vikings Game Plan and Vikings Connected, and Marcus Sherrills to the left side to the 15, to the 20, 25, 30. Tavecchio slows him at the 37, and Sherrills runs out of bounds at the 40-yard line. It's a 45-yard return by Marcus Sherrills, pending penalty. Flag on the field, all the way back in the Raiders portion of the equation.
By the kicking team, number
Offsides
54.
them.
It's a 5-yard penalty that's added to the kick return. First down.
Sweet. Marcus Sherrills with an explosive return. And the Vikings have the ball and a 1-point lead. Pete Persich, Paul Allen, Ben Lieber, Greg Coleman on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Going on, happy Saturday. It's Vikings football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Minnesota by 1, third quarter, sidelines, Ben Lieber.
Taylor Heineke, that last series with Taylor Heineke is a friendly reminder that this year the NFL has instituted something called a UNC. That's the unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant, which is up in the press box for certain situations where they can see a player in distress for head trauma, and they can call down to the referee, which would be Ed Hockley, to stop the game, get that player out for an evaluation. It would be an independent evaluation on the sideline that is independent from the team doctors. They don't have a say, and they get to determine whether that player can pass the concussion test or if they need to go back to the locker room for further evaluation. So just something to keep in mind as you watch NFL games this season.
Ben, very interesting. Do you have any idea what type of observation they may make of a guy like Heineke to determine whether the player is in or out?
Yeah, most of the time, the thing that we watched on film at the seminar was Nick Hardwick, Chris Dealman with the San Diego Chargers. If people remember, a couple years ago, was hit, was very woozy, stumbled on his feet, stayed in the game, suffered a seizure on the flight home, and that's kind of the hallmark event that has kind of started this whole thing.
Yep.
And that's the things they're looking for. Guys that are woozy. You want to stay in the game, but you're a little off balance. You don't know where you are. Cobwebs are there. Those are the things they're looking for that maybe the referees just don't see. So that's the situations that they're watching for now with the UNC.
Ben, stay with us for a second. 3rd and 7, Vikings. Heineke at quarterback, trips right, 1 receiver left. From their own 49, leading by 1, about 4 minutes to go, quarter 3. Heineke steps up, dump right, incomplete. Stephon Diggs, the intended receiver. The guy who put the hit on Taylor Heineke, Ben, was Ben Heaney, a 5th-round linebacker from Kansas. I know you're quite familiar with him.
Yeah, I've had a chance to cover Heaney, working a couple KU games. I tell you what, the coaches, Clint Bowen, the defensive coordinator at Kansas, absolutely loved him. He was their star player on defense. And now that he's gotten to the Oakland Raiders, you can start to see why he was so good in college. He just has a nose for the football. He's pretty undisciplined, and that's the one thing that I think that's the reason why he fell late in the draft. But he has a nose for the football. He plays all out every snap, and he's going to make this football team. And everything I've read about him, the coaches love him in Oakland.
Lock, end over end, fielded at the 15. Jeff has 3 punts inside the 20. Very well done. Vikes by 1, it's Vikings football. Vikings Entertainment Network is your home for Vikings preseason football. Don't miss the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own great seats in one of the best venues in the NFL, because lower-level seats are still available at US Bank Stadium. That's our home next year. Get your seats today at usbankstadium.com. seats. Matt McGloin is the third quarterback used this evening for the Oakland Raiders. Christian Ponder finished 7 of 11 for 69 yards, and he ran 2 times for 3 yards. That's assuming Christian is done. McGloin goes back to pass, hit as he throws, intercepted at the 22-yard line. And coming near side is Brian Peters, dragging Raiders inside the 5, out of bounds at the 1. Saskatchewan, go crazy.
Well, I'm sure they're getting rowdy north of the border. As Peters almost got that into the end zone. The pylon goes down, but this is just pressure up front. Quarterback's on him, gets hit, and Peters is in the right spot, getting up after making the interception and carrying some guys a few yards down. And oh nope, just came up short. So just Peters floating back, and that's just a situation where he's in the right place at the right time, and he needs to go to his defensive lineman and thank him, because they got the pressure on the QB, caused a short throw. So that's D-line working with the linebackers. But it's great to see guys like Peters who, have a long road to get into the NFL to come out and make big plays.
Pressure applied by rookie Daniil Hunter. And it's 1st and goal, Vikings from the 1-yard line. Dominic Williams is in the eye. He's behind Raynaud, an undrafted rookie fullback from Boise State. Williams hit in the backfield, spins towards the stripe, and he cannot get in. It'll be 2nd and goal for the Vikings. The upback, Blake Raynaud, a rookie from Boise State. Dominic Williams in his first full year from Wagner. 3:18 to go in quarter number 3 on a Saturday night in Minneapolis, where we endured a rain delay of about 1 hour. It was a rain/lightning delay. It was a weather delay. The teams came back out, had no halftime. It was a truncated halftime of just 2 minutes. And Taylor Heineke leads the Vikings to the line of scrimmage. Zach Kieran is the center. Raynaud in front of Williams. 2nd and goal. Movement up front, no flags. Ford in motion to the left. He has a touchdown tonight. Heineke, play action. Floats out to the right. Pumps, fires. Caught Brandon Bostic. Back right of the end zone. Out of bounds. Brandon Bostic. Yep, the same guy. Onside kick. NFC title game. Green and gold. Trying to score a touchdown in purple and gold, couldn't close on it.
Now you can't blame it really on Bostic. I mean, Heineke, he's open way before Heineke finally finds him and tries to throw that ball in the corner. So that one's on the quarterback. Bostic was able to get free and just floated into the back of the end zone, and Heineke waited too long to get it to him. So just the timing being off a little bit there.
3rd and goal, I formation, couple of tight ends off to the right. They go to Raynaud, the upback. Raynaud, yes! Touchdown Vikings.
There you go. We just getting a chance to just drive it up front, Paul, and that was something we had talked about earlier with the Viking offenses. That heavy set, that 2 tight end, the fullback, that offense hasn't shown, I don't think, the effectiveness. We've had a couple short yardage plays, one against Pittsburgh that didn't quite make it, and now we're finally getting the fullback just to pound it right up the middle. So again, that's all going to change when number 28 gets back in the game and gets back behind the quarterback. So
extra point try, 33 yards, left hash. With the new extra point rule, the kicker gets to choose the spot whence he wants to kick it. Blair chooses left hash. Snap spot. Yes. And Blair can breathe again. Flag on the play. Why we keep saying that is because Blair Walsh missed a field goal earlier from 35 yards, then missed an extra point. He's 2 of 4 on field goals this preseason, and he subsequently has hit 2 consecutive PATs. See what happens here with this flag.
Holding offense number 69.
Whoa, that's interesting.
10-yard penalty.
who is that, Paul? You get to say it. You get to say it.
Holding Babatunde Ayagbusi, the player from the Polish National League, splashing in a way he does not want to splash.
No,
Babatunde got on TV.
Man, they're yanking him off. Look at that. Ooh.
Zimmer's like, I'd rather play with 10.
Jeez, it came off, and Zimmer walked out onto the field to escort him off the field. So that's not good for the young man. You see a kid like that just trying to get in there, trying to make a play, trying to get on a practice squad. But
well, now the extra point's 43 yards. Seriously, I mean, a 10-yard penalty.
Yeah.
Extra point is 43 yards. Left hash. Kevin McDermott is the snapper here. Perfect snap. Right-footed extra point is up, and it is good. Blair Walsh says PAT that. Go ahead and back me up for a 43-yard try.
How do you like this? How do you like the rule, Paul?
Love it. Absolutely love it, because the original way it was done with the chip shot from the 10, it was a cinch. Seriously, they were hit like 98 or 99% of the time over the last 20 years. Now you back it up to the 15, you go for 33. If you employ Babatunde, you go for 43. And if you're going for a 43-yard kick in an outdoor venue in December,
yeah,
that's a big spot.
It does, and it adds quite a bit. And we've seen in the preseason the Raiders earlier this game going for 2. So strategically, they're going to pick their spots, and it's going to be interesting to see how head coaches change their strategy, and when are they going to go for the extra point? When are they going to go for 2? And it just makes.
Well, the Raiders went for 2 in their first preseason game, didn't get it either time.
They did not.
The Vikings tried one last game and didn't get it.
So, but it just makes your kicker, Paul, that much more valuable. Yeah. I mean, if you have a field goal kicker go down, or if he gets injured and something happens, now the PATs that, even for a backup kicker are pretty routine. They're not gonna be. So that puts an added value on that position.
Assistance in the booth provided by David Koob on stats. Tiny Joe Nelson is spotting. Mike Wapshaw, he's so wobby, the content manager for Vikings.com, up here with us. Audio, Brad Zimet. The lead videotape guy is Danny Lutz. Graphics, Jeff Eilen, Tom Mee, and Larry Robertson. Technical guidance, Dustin Dansasak and Ryan Dobish. The producer is Steve Johnson, and the director is Pat O'Connor. And I'm Paul Allen.
Well done, Paul.
Thank you. Those names were as easy to pronounce as Babatunde Ayabusi.
Well, reading it off an iPhone 3, that's pretty impressive.
It's a flip phone, man.
Oh, sorry.
Here comes Holiday. 5, 10, 15, tripped up and taken down by a man who got nicked up a little bit, too. That was Brian Peters, a little slow to get up. He had the interception that led to the Blake Raynaud touchdown. For the largest selection of new Vikings novelty items and apparel, please look no further than the Vikings Locker Room store. For anything purple, visit us at Mall of America or VikingsLockerRoom.com.
So the novelty items, are they going to be like the novelty items that Morris had in his locker, or Randall McDaniel, or are they going to be legitimate?
I wasn't around then. What are these novelty items of which you speak? Would you care to expand?
Stink bombs,
I think it is after 10 p.m.
It is.
McGloin hands to Dwyer following pulling lineman far side across the 20, taken down at the 22. Matt McGloin in his 3rd year from Penn State. Down to the sidelines, and the man with the freshest pink shirt in the building is Ben Lieber.
Thank you. All right, a little quick update on Brian Peters. No real injury, but something to watch out for. On that last interception in the last series, as he came off the sidelines, he was really favoring his left arm, holding it close to his body, didn't let anybody touch him. And then on that last kickoff, as he was getting up, he was favoring that left arm, left shoulder again. So just something to watch out for to see if that's going to be affecting him in this game.
McGloin fires left, caught Raiders first down in front of Van Dyke. Peters had an interception. We said Saskatchewan go crazy. That's because he was a member of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And Brian Peters, who is a converted safety.
Yeah. He
played safety at Saskatchewan, played collegiately at Northwestern. Big Ten fans are familiar with him. Spent 2013 and 14 in the CFL with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Won the 101st Grey Cup with the Roughriders following the 2013 season. Had a sweet little interception. And the Vikings 3 plays later plunged 1 yard for a touchdown that gives them a 20-12 lead with a minute 22 and counting to go in quarter 3. The only Raiders touchdown this evening took place following a 6-play, 75-yard drive where starting quarterback Derek Carr hit rookie Amari Cooper on a 40-yard play where he put a sweet double move, on Terrence Newman. Then Latavius Murray plunged in from 2. George Atkinson III is the tailback. McGloin under center. He goes to the man they call Trey. And he runs into Brian Peters, drags him for about 3 yards to the 41-yard line, gain of 6. First and 10, Oakland Raiders with 44 seconds and counting to go in quarter 3.
And you look at Peters, and he put a nice hit on the running back and kind of let go and then grabbed again. So that shoulder is definitely bothering him. And I think it was when he was tackled out of bounds. And defensive guys are defensive guys for a reason. It's mainly because they normally can't catch and they can't run with the ball. And when they do, a lot of times they get hurt. So I think Peters aggravated, or at least twisted that shoulder up when he was tackled out of bounds.
McGloin puts Streeter in motion to the left, and they run out of it. And it's a rather explosive run right up the middle by George Atkinson III, first full year from Notre Dame. It's a gain of 8 yards, and that takes us to the end of the third quarter. Thanks to a Blake Rayno touchdown, the Vikings extend a 1-point lead and make it 8. It's 2012 Minnesota. The final quarter of the final home preseason game is around the corner for Minneapolis on the Minnesota Vikings Welcome back. It's Vikings football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. 20-12 Minnesota. Welcome back to Fox 9. Welcome back to FM 100.3 The Fan and the Vikings Radio Network. There's Jack Del Rio, coach of the Oakland Raiders, Pete.
Oh, Jack, a teammate of mine for the couple years that he was here, and you know, Jack is the original deep middle drop in the Tampa 2 when we ran it here. There's an example of it right there where he intercepts the ball right over Ed McDaniel. So Jack was always a great pass defender, you know, a smart player, and at the same time he was tough. And I'll never forget when he'd sit there and open up his paycheck and look at it, and then look at me and go, "I just made more in 2 weeks than you make all year, buddy." You know, and it's just how he was, and it doesn't surprise me one bit that he's become a head coach, that he's and a darn good one too. I think for the future for Jack is bright. He's been around some great other head coaches, great schemes, and I think he might just have enough with some of the other changes with the Raiders that turn this franchise around a little bit.
Hand off to Dwyer on 3rd and 1 into Vikings territory to the 48 for a Raiders first down. Let's take a peek at the Verizon stats. Speaking of stats, Teddy Bridgewater this evening finished 10 of 14, 87 yards, a touchdown, 10 yards to Charles Johnson, passer rating 111.9. Sean Hill, 11 of 17, 82 yards, a touchdown to Chase Ford. He was picked off one time. Matt Asiata, 2 runs, 15 yards. Jerick McKinnon, 12 runs, 25 yards. Charles Johnson, 4 catches, 40 yards and a TD. Chase Ford had 4 catches and a touchdown. Derek Carr for the Raiders, 4 of 8, 78 yards. McGloin, deep attempt, right side to Streeter, incomplete. 2nd and 10.
In Paul, and you go back and watch this game and watch the tape, I think it's at the 14-yard pass to Charles Johnson that was the most impressive one of the night for Teddy. And he continued to be efficient. He continued to throw accurately on the move. I mean, I don't know. You hope that he picked up where he left off last season, and by every indication so far this preseason, you know, he really has. We knew that the teams we were playing struggled on offense last year, but Teddy's done a very good job against these defenses. And I think Dallas next week is going to be a great test for both sides of the ball.
Atkinson 3, stretch left, hit and stopped at the 39, flag on the play.
Holding offense, number 70, 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Holding, number 70, Tony Bergstrom, 4th year from Utah. Haven't heard the name of Brian Leanhart, a tight end they use in his 2nd year from Bemidji State, wears number 87, 25-year-old young man. Why we bring him up is because he's from Blaine, and he played high school at Spring Lake Park.
Now he's right down there by the offensive coordinator in the sideline. He's ready to go in. Now what? A little discussion over the football here by the officials. It's
bad spot. Precious 3 feet.
It all adds up, Paul. I'll tell Adrian that, he was what, just a few feet away from breaking the record that may never be broken.
2nd and 20 for the Raiders from their own 42. Empty backfield, 5 receiver set, 3 to the left. McGloin, short drop. Dump right, caught at the 40 and stopped at the 43-yard line is Chris Durham, a 4th-year wide receiver from Georgia who used to play for the Carolina Panthers. Josh Thomas, who also used to play for the Carolina Panthers, a backup cornerback. He was in the mix on the play as the summer squall re-emerges on the campus of the University of Minnesota. It is misting with 12 and a half minutes to go in the 3rd preseason game for the Vikings, 2nd for the Raiders. McGloin shotgun 3rd and 19 from his own 43. Goes on a 5-step drop, step up, dump, and it's caught at the 47. Atkinson goes right, goes left, goes back to the right, and he stopped at the 49 after a gain of 7 yards, forcing a Raiders punt by Stephen Clark, a 1st-year punter from Auburn. And deep for the Vikings, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs, explosive punt returner, Paul. So the Raiders are smart. They just, with the wind at their back, just kick it out of the back of the end zone. But Audie Cole getting a chance. Now look at Audie Cole. I'd like to come back to him at some point, Paul, but here's a guy who started in the Hall of Fame game, and now he's seeing time with the 2s, and now he's with the 3s. I mean, you just hope he keeps his chin up because he fumbled.
Bobbled snap, still gets it off. Diggs lets it sail over his head, inside the 5, and into the end zone for a touchback.
Now there's going to be a penalty here because of whenever the kick, the timing. In college, they allow the line, if you will, on the punt team to run down the field as soon as the ball snaps. But in the NFL, they can't cross. They need to be within a yard of the line of scrimmage and the ball's kicked. So when the punter drops the football, his coverage team's already 5 yards down the field. So they're going to probably give him a chance to, or at least back him up. I don't think the Vikings will let him kick it again.
On the offense.
They're getting it at the 20 anyway.
The player was not up on the line of scrimmage. That's a 5-yard penalty that will be added on from the 20 to the 25-yard line. 1st down.
Of all the things that they've done to help protect, I think this eliminating the re-kick is a great thing.
11 and a half minutes to go in the Vikings' 3rd preseason game. Minnesota leads by 8 on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Minnesota Vikings football is courtesy of the VEN, the Vikings Entertainment Network. Ben Lieber is on the sidelines with our starting left guard, Brendan Fusco.
That's right. Now he's a starting left guard, but before he was a starting right guard. And you've talked about this switch a lot of times, and you said it's the stance and footwork that you just have to work out. How's that development going for you?
Pretty good. I mean, 3 weeks into camp, it's been a smooth transition. I think I found something to work on every day, and it's helped, and I'm improving, I feel like, and I feel like the coaches are happy with my progress, and I'm getting more comfortable every day.
You know, part of that move was getting in sync with Matt Khalil. You talked about that's a work in progress as well. How's that going with the 2 of you?
Yeah, it's going good. Every day, me and Matt try to be on the same page, picking up stunts, reading defenses. I think on and off the field, we have a really good chemistry, and just try to be positive every day, come out with a good attitude in practice, and just work on something every day. It's really become, we're going to have to be a really good left side, one of the best in the NFL, I feel like. Yeah.
Before camp, there was some question marks on the offensive line, and now with the injury with Phil Lodeholt, how do you guys handle the pressure that's been put on you guys internally?
Yeah, man, losing Phil, man, his presence on Phil, his physical presence, you can feel it's missed, but TJ, he's a hard worker, he's a great kid, and he's willing to learn from the coaching staff and the veterans, and he comes out to practice every day. I think he comes out with a good attitude. He's probably one of the last ones to leave the building every day. He's a very hard worker. Mike Harrison, the right guard, he's a hard worker as well. He's a tough, athletic guard, and them 2 on the right side should be pretty good. As a whole, we take pride in pass protection this year. I mean, Coach Zim, preaches it every day in practice. I've never done so many one-on-ones in practice ever since I've been there, and it seems like it's been working. And now pass pro looks good out there, and just got to keep improving, really.
All right, man, one of the best. I appreciate all the hard work you do as well.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, that's Brandon Fusco, the starting left guard for the Minnesota Vikings, the highest drafted player from Slippery Rock in school history, and also the only player in the history of Slippery Rock to be invited to not only the Senior Bowl, but the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. Heineke back to pass. Deep shot. Stephon Diggs, left side. Caught! Diggs out of bounds. Tough catch, too. Had to contort his body. You know, with Fusco, when he was drafted, Brandon came in as a center. And subsequently, because having super sub Joe Berger with position flexibility as a center and a guard, Fusco played right guard. He was having a fantastic season last year. Then he endured an injured pec, lost him for the season. The guard spot for the Vikings became a conundrum. And Fusco has become so versatile, now they can use him at left guard.
Yeah, he's learned that position flexibility, and talking to him and his father and his experience coming from Slippery Rock, going to the Senior Bowl, being made fun of and poked fun of by some of the bigger schools and some of the other kids that were there, the other men that were there, and for him to still be in the league and for him to get that big contract. I think he has the pride and the work ethic that he doesn't really care where he goes. He just wants to contribute, and when he says that, I think he's genuine. So right guard, left guard, center, I don't think it matters for a guy like Fusco. He's a guy that you love to have. You can only have a few of them. They're just the road graders that you like.
3rd and 6, toss right. Dominic Williams turns it up at the 40, 35, angles his way to a first down across the 30, and he stopped at the 29-yard line. First down run by Dominic Williams. The shift from right guard to left guard, I mean, how difficult is that?
It's easier than going from right tackle to left tackle. The farther away you get from the ball, the more difficult it becomes, and it's hard to say, Paul. It really shouldn't be too difficult. Just the pass pro, and this is one of the things that Brandon had mentioned, that they had really been working on pass pro. I think it's been evident that the pass protection's been pretty darn good. But that's going to be the hardest part because you have a different foot back. Your technique's just a little bit different. So for Brandon, I think that it's been a good switch for him. But like I said, he's just going to go wherever you tell him to go, and he's going to stick around and find a way and battle. And I think at the end of the day, he'll always be around.
Offensive line for the Vikings in the 4th quarter. Left tackle is rookie Tyrus Thompson. Fellow rookie Austin Shepard next to him. The center is still Zach Curran. Isom Fashawn is the right guard as Heineke fakes a handoff, rolls out to the right, sprints 25, and he goes out of bounds at the 20-yard line. David Yankee still in at right tackle, gain of 4.
And the sky opens up again, Paul.
In the business, we call it a summer squall. Now, David Yankee, a second-year guy who was drafted from Stanford, didn't offer the team much last year. And sadly, with all of the turmoil the Vikings had at guard, the left guard spot wasn't working out that well. Fusco got hurt. They ended up having to use Vladimir Dukas, who's now on the Bears. As Heineke hands it off to Williams, plunges up the middle for a yard, maybe 2, close to a first down. Yankee, for whatever the reason, could not crack the starting lineup. So now this offseason, they were working him out at guard. But then at training camp, he was Matt Khalil's backup at left tackle. Carter Bykowski, in my opinion, started out playing Yankee, so he became Khalil's backup. Now he injured his pec. He's out for the season. So now David Yankee, in my opinion, is kind of a very important factor to the depth of the Vikings offensive line.
And you're absolutely right, Paul, and especially on that left-hand side. He has to get better and has to get good in a hurry because he's only one play away from being our starting left tackle.
High snap. Blair Walsh field goal try is no good. Blair Walsh has missed 2 field goals this evening. That high snap was courtesy of Colin Leffler, and a frustrated Mike Zimmer glares at his kicker as he runs off the field, in essence saying, really? Vikings lead 20-12, 7:01 to go in the game. It's Vikings football. It's Minnesota Vikings preseason football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Hey, we have a lot of excitement for the 2015 Vikings season as well as for the future home of the Vikings, US Bank Stadium. Great lower level seats remain for today and tomorrow. Visit Vikings.com/tickets right now. Come watch us play in this preseason, in the regular season. The regular season home opener, week 2 against the Detroit Lions. but also secure your spot for the new stadium, US Bank Stadium, in 2016. Handoff for a gain of a couple of yards, making it about 2nd and 8 for the Oakland Raiders. Goes to Dwyer, Michael Dyer, the rookie from Louisville. 2nd and 7. Blair Walsh is 0 of 2 on field goals tonight. 2 of 5 in the preseason. He was 26 of 35 last year. He has missed field goals tonight of 35 and 38. He also missed a 33-yard extra point, but he also hit one from 44. McGloin steps up, flag on the play, pumps right, sees nothing. Great coverage by Josh Thomas down the field. And McGloin will dawdle ahead to the 33-yard line for a short gain. Here's Ed Hockley.
Personal foul, face mask, offense, number 79. 15-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Anthony Morris, 7th-round rookie from Tennessee State. At Nathan and Drew Day, Nate Day. Question, who will step up at wide receiver this season? Well, the 6 I believe will make the team are Mike Wallace, Charles Johnson, Jarius Wright, Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs, and Cordero Patterson. Of those names, who do you think would, quote, step up?
Well, I think Charles Johnson has already stepped up, but outside of that, I think Stephon Diggs still has the biggest upside of that group.
McGloin out of the shotgun, wheels it out to the right, and it's caught by Josh Harper, an undrafted rookie wide receiver from Fresno State. There's Charles Johnson. Next to long-tenured equipment manager Dennis Ryan.
Yeah, Dennis Ryan's been around for...
I think he was on the sidelines when the team was in Sioux Falls in 1961 executing training camp.
I think he was.
With Gil Brandt, Sid Hartman, and Bob Bursich.
Hanging out there with Stubby Eason, putting equipment away and chasing mice out of the locker room. He's seen about everything.
4 decades plus for the great Dennis Ryan. McGloin rolls out to the right. Dump, caught Dyer on 3rd and 15. No gain. And a punt. That's good news, because Stephon Diggs heads onto the field for a potential punt return. He had a dazzling 64-yard return in a nationally televised game from Canton in the Hall of Fame game. Last week, Stephon Diggs against Tampa returned 3 punts for an average of 18.3 yards with a long of 37.
Yeah, I'd like to see him with the wind behind the punter and maybe not get a lot of hang time and have some room to maneuver.
Here's the right-footed punt, angling to Diggs. Stephon lets it bounce. Ooh, big bounce. Now he retrieves it at the 20. Sprints out to the right, turns it up at the 20-25. Looks for a block, shakes a tackle at the 30. Diggs to the 40. Stephon sidesteps a Raider at the 50, flag on the play. Stephon Diggs with a dazzling punt return where he made several Raiders miss. Diggs, a 5th-round draft pick from Maryland.
Yeah, just an all-around good player, and that's where you want of these lower-round picks, guys like Marcus Sherrills and Stephon Diggs. Position flexibility, Paul. These guys are going to find their way on the field one way or another.
Remember, the kicking team was ineligibly downfield early. That's a 5-yard penalty. It will be tacked on to the end of the punt return.
Nice.
Minnesota keeps the ball, 1st down.
32-yard punt return by Stephon Diggs. The Vikings lead the Oakland Raiders 20-12, 4:28 to go in the final home preseason game. Next week, Stephon Diggs and the Vikings are at Dallas. And you'll take it in via the Vikings Entertainment Network. It is Vikings football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Paul Allen, Pete Bursich, Ben Lieber on the sidelines, and the Vikings have a 20-12 lead. Mike Kafka is in the game for the Vikings, the 4th quarterback used. Kafka played in the Hall of Fame game at Canton. He is an I formation behind him now, and he was 7 of 10 for 66 yards. Threw a touchdown to Michael Pruitt, passer rating 121 and change. Handoff, short gain of just a couple of yards. Mike Kafka, 6'3", 230 pounds, 4th year from Northwestern, journeyman quarterback. Following Teddy Bridgewater, Sean Hill, Taylor Heineke, and Kafka. 2nd and 8 for Minnesota from the Raiders 43 following the 38-yard Stephon Diggs punt return. And Kafka with DeJuan Harris, the former Packer, behind him. Chase Ford, the up back in the eye. He jettisons the backfield. Heads to the left of the left tackle. Kafka, play action. Rolls out to the left, stops, dumps, caught Ford at the 40 for a gain of 3. Ben Lieber has one of the very best safeties in the NFL with him. Ben?
Yeah, one of the best safeties and the team leader in tackles and interceptions from last year, Harrison Smith. Harrison, I don't know, some people might know, and I think it's been public knowledge, but you're working on your pilot's license. Did you get your wings yet?
No, I was working on it in the off season. It was awesome. Learned a lot, but once the season comes around, I kind of put all the extracurricular stuff on hold and focus on football. So I'm gonna hold off on that.
How close are you?
Really just a few hours, so gotta wait though.
Earlier in the preseason, you talked about improving your blitzing. That's one thing you came in with the mindset in training camp. I've got to work on that. What specifically about blitzing have you worked on?
They've gotten us down with Coach Dre and with some of the defensive linemen. Try to work on our hands, some moves that we can do instead of just kind of running in there and hoping for the best. Have something, kind of have a plan in your mind, and then just thinking about those things, stepping through them, and just trying to get a little more pressure on the quarterback.
It seems like this is a reoccurring thing from last year. There's a bit of a competition battle at strong safety with Blanton and Exum. How do you see this whole thing shaping out between those two?
There's a lot of competition back there, a lot of good players, and really, I think we'll just see what happens. But everybody's getting better, and it's just raising the water level and making the defense better.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Harrison Smith, one of the starting safeties for the Minnesota Vikings, with 5 interceptions last year and 3 career defensive touchdowns. Vikes by 8, 2-minute warning on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Minnesota Vikings football is on the Vikings Entertainment Network, here on Fox 9 and also on FM 100.3 The Fan and the Vikings Radio Network.
Paul, with Ben doing a nice job getting a chance to talk to Harrison Smith. You look at Harrison Smith, he's one of the few safeties in the league that I think can do it all. He's definitely a ball hawk. He can intercept, he can catch, turns defense into offense with the return touchdowns. And then to his credit as well, he is able to come down from depth and be a great tackler in the box. He's able to come down and hit and do some things. And so normally with safeties, you think of them in terms of strong and free, and the free safety is the guy that's leading the NFL in interceptions, and the strong safety is your Palomalu, a guy who gets the blitz and makes a lot of big hits and tackles. And so for him, he kind of falls in the middle, and Harrison Smith, I think, is getting overlooked, but he's an unbelievably complete safety.
Handoff Joe Banyard, the 5th tailback used this evening for the Vikings, as we coast home with Kafka. 150 and counting to go in the 3rd preseason game. One thing about which Mike Zimmer does not like to talk is his 7-0 preseason record, assuming we win this game. Raiders have 3 timeouts. They don't seem to have any plans to use any of them. But Mike went 4-0 last year. He's about to be 3-0 this year. That's 7-0 Zimmer preseason record. He couldn't care less.
And that's the funny thing is as goofy as it sounds, Ben would know that even when you win in the preseason, it's just a better feeling around Winter Park. It's just a better feeling around the building.
Yeah.
Even if the game doesn't mean anything, even if whatever, you get a win, and you feel pretty good about it. And I mean, outside of the Indianapolis Colts, who historically have just been 0 for 4 and done well most.
Great tout by me. The Raiders used a timeout. 1:12 to go in the game. Vikes by 8 from Minneapolis on the Minnesota Vikings Entertainment Network.
Field goal attempt fails. The ball returns to the spot of the kick. First down.
Welcome back to Vikings football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. while we were away, because they hustled back, Blair Walsh attempted a 49-yard field goal, left hash. Kevin McDermott, the snapper, and Blair is 0 for 3 tonight.
Yeah, with that wind, you're just not going to get that thing to hook back, and then he runs to the sideline, and people look at him like he's got leprosy. He's staying away from him.
Oh, Christian Ponder. Oh, no, that's not Christian Ponder. Thought it was number 9. In the game at quarterback now is
Rick Meyer.
Cody Fajardo, an undrafted rookie from Nevada. 2 quarterbacks in the Bay Area who played at Nevada Reno.
No, Brian Leonhardt's in there. Paul's getting some snaps at tight end, so it's got to feel good for him to be back in Minnesota and getting a chance to play a little bit.
A minute to go in the 3rd preseason game for the Vikings. Fajardo takes the snap, short drop, fires right, incomplete, badly overthrew the receiver. In the game for the Vikings right now, Caesar Rayford, left defensive end. Hickman is one of the 2 defensive tackles, along with Rose. Leon Mackey is the right defensive end. Mike Maudie running with the 3s. The corners are Thomas and Van Dyke. Sean Prater is the nickel corner. And the safeties, Anthony Harris and Andrew Sendejo.
Mike Maudie, I think, is going to be the guy that's going to be affected by whether or not they keep 6 or 7 linebackers, Paul. He's in a tough spot.
Fajardo back to pass, whips it out right, caught. First down in Vikings territory at the 49-yard line. And that is Devon Wiley, 2nd year from Fresno State. Just picked up this week by the Oakland Raiders.
So, Paul, if the Raiders get down and score a touchdown
and a 2-point conversion,
I was just going to ask you,
means
overtime.
Of course they do, but we'll stop the 2-point conversion.
They're not going to get past it.
We'll go home and sleep comfortably. Fajardo, 2 receivers left and right. 5-step drop, steps up, floats out to the left. Clock at 48, flag on the play. Fajardo runs away from Prater and out of bounds. This most likely will be holding silver and black.
Historically, the most penalized team in the league. They're living up to their reputation tonight, Paul. A lot of bad mistakes.
Holding, offense, number 74. 10-yard foul, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
There's Jack Del Rio. Next to him, Bill Musgrave, former offensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. Also on the sidelines for the Raiders is their quarterbacks coach and Eden Prairie native Todd Downing, a man you and I have known for many years. Great story, too. He was an intern in the operations department for the Vikings. Also worked with Bob Hagan in the public relations department. Mike Tice gave him a couple of offensive-related chores and said, if you complete these well, I will give you a job on my coaching staff. And he ended up trusting Downing and made him offensive quality control when you were the linebackers coach for the team. Subsequently, Todd worked for the Vikings, then worked with Scott Linehan when he was head coach of St. Louis.
And that's the key. He got that relationship as an offensive as a quality control coach with the coordinator, and went to St. Louis.
Fajardo facing a blitz, and he's stuffed for a sack, Mike Maudie. Mike Maudie with a sack. Clock runs, 36 seconds to go. Raiders have 2 timeouts. Yeah, Downing then became quarterbacks coach for Matthew Stafford and the Lions. Last year was quarterbacks coach for the Buffalo Bills. As Fajardo sprints out to the left, goes out of bounds at the 45. And now is quarterbacks coach for Jack Del Rio, Bill Musgrave, and the Oakland Raiders. I think it's a fantastic story.
It is.
When you come from an internship, it's a story of hope, faith, and hard work.
Right. You hear about New England Patriots and Scott Pioli and Belichick finding guys that like Eric Mangini, who really had nothing to do with football, and turning them into coaches. Well, it happens elsewhere too.
Yeah.
And Todd Downing is a perfect example of, if you just put your nose in the grind. He worked a lot of hours for pretty much nothing to get where he is today.
Fajardo fires right, intercepted by the Minnesota Vikings. It's intercepted by veteran Josh Thomas. And this game is over.
Now Josh Thomas just, again, smart. You can tell he's a veteran. He knows that the ball is going to have to come out quickly. that it's not going to be a down the field route. He jumps to curl and really runs the route for the receiver. Actually, it's a running back that they don't run good comeback routes to begin with. So nice job stepping up, and look at that. Now that I like to see. Eric Kendricks still has his helmet on with 16 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. He started this game about 8 hours ago, and he's still fired up. And I mean, that's not manufactured. That's a passion for the game, and I think with him and Barr in the middle, we got some good things coming this year.
Nice job tonight. See you next week in Dallas. That's the next preseason game next week at Dallas. The Minnesota Vikings are undefeated this preseason. They just beat the Oakland Raiders by 8. And the team has looked pretty good this preseason, but the best news is Adrian Peterson hasn't even broken a sweat. We won't see him until the regular season. The Vikings win this evening 20-12 from the University of Minnesota. For Greg Coleman, Ben Lieber, Pete Bursich, and yours truly, Paul Allen, thanks for watching and listening. It's a presentation of the Vikings Entertainment Network.